Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 465, recorded on February 15th, 2024. On tonight's episode, we talk about Nintendo's Valentine's Day tease, Xbox news. We could still talk about that even though we're Nintendo Dads. And did Sonic Superstars go fast? Well, you'll have to find out. Jesse, hit the music.
Welcome, everybody, to the Nintendo Dads, episode 465. As Marty mentioned, and he opened. I don't know when the last time, Marty, you opened, but it's been a while, and that's why it was so awesome here.
I had to remember how to, like, what we say and when we do it.
That was awesome. How you been, sir?
Like, I don't ever pay attention when you're doing that. No, I do. I'm doing good, man. It's good to be back on the show. I feel like I've been away for far too long. There may be people who don't even know who I am.
Yeah, thanks for being a guest on our show today, Marty. No, okay.
I appreciate it. No, things are getting back to normal, and as I told you, lads, here at the in the post-show, pre-show, that this may very well be the last Nintendo Dads episode that I record from my office because they ran that sweet internet cable close to my house yesterday, and they said it's going to be within about a week or two. We're going to move into the mid 2000s with the rest of you. That's right.
Hey!
Can't wait.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I can't wait to see that and see what your new setup will be looking like there.
I'm going to take a picture of this, and I'm just going to make it my background. So you'll never know.
You'll never have to do that.
You'll never know that I live in a cave.
Yes.
Somewhere in the southern United States.
You have to do that because I did that with my basement shot. I still have that, and I can put that as my background as well.
Yeah, you should sometimes, just to trick us.
Just a trick.
I still remember you and Sean Capri swatched.
When we switched them, yeah. I have his background still, too, somewhere around here.
You should just get, like, one of all of us and just do it.
Yes.
You know, like, we'll send it, and one time you'll be at Justin's, one time you'll be at
there's a reason why I use this background, because behind me is a mess.
Yeah. Tim, you're okay? You're okay?
Good? I'm doing good. It's been a good week. And actually, I don't remember much about it, so that's probably good. It's probably just normal.
I see.
Day-to-day operations at work, and it's nothing crazy, nothing sticking out other than the snow we got today. That was a surprise, but other than that,
we got surprise snow on Monday night.
Yeah,
it was like we're sitting at a coffee shop, and I look out the window. I said, "It's snowing."
Yeah,
it's snowing. This is like we usually get one snow in the south. We had a really good one back in January.
Yeah, we all got those one good ones, right?
And then now it's like what bonus snow.
That's what we got. Yeah, because we heard we were getting snow, but it was like I woke up, looked out the window, there was nothing on the ground. So I was like, oh, we must not be getting it. Had the meeting that I went to this morning. After the meeting was done, I had to go get my daughter, and I would look out the window, and there's snow everywhere. It's like a couple inches.
Did you see how we did that at the same time? Like we did that. Oh, yeah. We're going to coordinate that at some point. I don't know.
All right. Well, Casey, you're also returning guest. What's going on, sir?
Not much. Eventful day. I'm ready for the 4-day weekend. I'm gonna put it that way. One of the more eventful days of not every day you get to talk about what's the difference between a fire drill and a fire warning with kids. Other than that, I've hit an old man status in my house where my son is really liking Roblox, and I just don't get it. I'm sorry. I don't get it. Yeah, me too.
Roblox,
right?
Well, I never got Roblox, and I never got Minecraft, so.
Minecraft, I get it's Legos. Minecraft's fun, you build, and Roblox is like really bad Minecraft to me with like the graphics. My son loves it. He can play with his friends on the iPad, and he still plays some Switch games. And we can talk about that later. Obviously, we're talking about what we're playing, but I'm just the old man. I put it on my phone to play with him. I don't want to hate on what he loves, but it's dumb. I don't like it.
It's really hard to love it. Like
yeah. I'm like, I could play Zelda.
Right. Or like I would catch my son playing Pokemon on there, and I'm like, dude, I just bought you the brand new Pokemon game. How are you? I don't know. I don't know. I'm like, play the real
Pokemon
game. Play the real Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's way better. Unless it's Scarlet and Violet. They probably made a better one in Roblox.
Wow. Baby.
Ooh,
Baby.
ouch. Boom, 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 boom.
I mean, I'm just saying.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Okay.
Jesse, how are you doing?
Well, unfortunately, we did have some excitement. We found out, I think it was Saturday, that we were going to get sewage back up from our main again. We had it last year, had someone come out and drill through it and found a block about 150 to 200 feet away. And, okay, we're good. And then now we're backed up again. So have someone to come out to do the same thing, and they find that, oh yeah, this is only like 60 to 65 feet. So this is, and he put a camera
closer.
Yeah. So it's a different source, obviously. So he put a camera in there and he said, yeah, your pipe collapsed.
Oh, great.
So now while we don't have backup still anymore, he got us going so we can shower and laundry again. But we're going to have someone come out and fix that pipe, which who knows how much that's going to cost.
Ugh.
Right. Yeah.
The joys of owning a home.
What a crappy situation.
Literally.
I've been holding that one for a whole 30 seconds since you started talking about it.
Good. Hey.
I'm glad you lit it out. You don't want to be backed up.
Let's see what you did there. We're sorry, Jess. We're sorry.
All right. Well, let's roll into the news and get out of this what we're into before it gets any worse.
Too late.
All right. The news and the ad-free version of this podcast is brought to you by patreon.com at Nintendo or /Nintendo Dads. Huge thanks to all of our Patreons for allowing us to do this. We wouldn't be able to do the ad-free version and present this podcast to you if it wasn't for all those people who are at patreon.com. If you want to be a part of it, you can go to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, pay $1 a month or more, and get the ad-free version of our show. You won't have to hear any of us read the Manscaped ad or hear any of the other inserted ads we have throughout here. But if you like hearing that stuff, we thank you for listening to those ads because that helps pay for our show too. So thank you very much.
Can I ask just real quick? I meant to ask this in the intro. How you guys celebrate? What did you do to celebrate Valentine's Day? Did you?
I'll start.
Celebrate Valentine's.
My classes are Monday and Wednesday. So knowing that I had class, we didn't plan anything. We're doing our Valentine's Day on Saturday. Then Sunday,
that's a good plan.
Chiefs won the Super Bowl. The parade and rally scheduled for Wednesday afternoon, so all classes canceled.
Nice.
So we still went out to a dinner, but we still going to do our Valentine's dinner this weekend.
Well, sure, right? Because what's one more like an impromptu date night when you love somebody, right? Sure.
And then I want to throw out there, Nintendo says I should have called the Mario Brothers hotline.
You should have. Plumbing's their game.
That joke was right there this whole time. Oh,
right.
Man. All right, let's wrap it up, guys. I think we got to quit. I don't think
that's it. Like we missed that. We might as well just shut her down for the night, right?
Well, what did you do, Marty? What did you do for Valentine's?
Yeah, what did you do for Valentine's?
Nothing, because my wife hates Valentine's Day.
Your wife's cool?
She also hates live flowers. And anything. So Tuesday night, I took my daughter to dance and was driving around doing some errands. I walked into Kroger, and right next to the door, they were selling chocolate dipped strawberries. I said, she likes those. I bought her a pack of those and hid them in the fridge until the next morning and gave them to her. That's literally what we did. And then last night we went to church.
You got nothing?
Wednesday. No. She got me a nice card because and in the card she says, I did this because I know that you know that I hate this holiday, and I know you just love all holidays and like to celebrate. So here is the celebration. And the card said, "We are meant to be," and she gave me some Andes mints. The like the chocolate Andes.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
so
Aw.
my favorite.
Yeah, those are
And
great.
she gave me some Andes mints. And here's the deal. Like tonight, we just went and hung out. My daughter has dance every night, so it's like we'll go and tonight it was just, hey, let's go out for coffee while she's at dance. So we did that and hung out. So we don't just celebrate it really big. I had to learn that though when I got married, because I was like, oh, I gotta get flowers, I gotta get this.
Right.
And then finally one time she's like, can I just be honest with you, I really hate all this. So I was like, so I
Well-
don't have to buy you anything? She's like, that's right, you don't. So yeah.
Okay. Well,
Not
my
on that
wife's
specific day.
so my wife still likes the Valentine's things. So I kind of like our tradition is I'll get live flowers delivered from a local shop. I used to do like 1-800-Flowers, but we've had problems with them. So I've started going, support your local businesses, guys. And then I went to the mall at one of the jewelry shops and looked to see what type of Valentine's deals they had. And I picked up a set of earrings and a chain. So those will be. So she already has the flowers. The jewelry will be given as gifts this weekend.
Before you other guys say this, just so you know that we're not like people completely devoid of joy in our marriage. We do, like, our big thing is throughout the year. I saw this, and it made me think of you.
Mhm.
Right. So it's a lot of that. So
That's
it's
nice.
not like, but I am a big, like, I told her, I was like, because we were laughing about what she wrote in the card. And I was like, I'm a big celebrations person. Like, I just like to, I like an excuse to celebrate.
Right.
So here we are. What about you guys? Casey, Tim?
My wife, we said no gifts this year, and my wife always says that, but then she ends up giving me something that we're like. But the thing I always do is, like, I meant it. We said no gifts. I always hand make her a card. So I crafted it and did that, and I wrote and drew a nice picture and wrote a nice letter,
Nice.
and scored some points with that because I can doodle a little bit, and that helps me out in the end. When you teach elementary, you learn how to be crafty with like paper and die cutting, so that helps too. And then I gave her V-Bucks. Yes, and Friendo's right. That's actually what every woman wants, is V-Bucks in her
V-Bucks.
Valentine's Day card.
Yes.
Yeah, she wants to get the Peter Griffin skin, clearly. No, and then we just kind of hung out. Like, we're busy. Like I said, I was saying before we got on the show, we're trying to buckle down and save up for some stuff. So it was just a normal day. She had pizza made and mozzarella sticks, and she's like, I'm sorry, this is your Valentine's Day dinner. I go, why would you be sorry about this dinner?
The best Valentine's Day dinner ever.
That sounds awesome.
Yes. She's like, oh, and the kids were like, we love this, and she's like, well, that makes me feel better, because she felt like she had to cook. My wife likes to cook, but I was like, this is completely fine.
Right.
Thank you.
It's the simple stuff.
Barbecue chicken. Yeah. What about you, Tim?
We both got Squishables. So we were at the mall, and they had a buy one, get one 50% off over the weekend. So there was a really cool one that I knew she would like, was a Raven. She's playing Ravens lately. So it was a squishable thing. And then I got Death. I don't have it near me. It's by my chair. I'd show it off.
I hope that doesn't have a subliminal message.
No, Ravens and Death, they go hand in hand.
Yeah, they do. I thought they were pretty cool. But
okay,
I'll have to show them. I'll have to go and run off and grab it if I can. Maybe during the minute or something, I'll grab it and show it off.
Yeah,
that's cool.
The restaurant we're going to go to is the same restaurant where we had that Wagyu beef last month.
Ooh, there you go.
Ooh, that sounds good.
That's a good idea. That makes good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're probably not going to have the Wagyu again, because this time it'll be more like $70 or $80. But we'll find something to eat.
We don't usually celebrate Valentine's either, but there was just one of those things where we both wanted to, it was good timing for the Squishable thing, and then we go out to eat whenever we can, and spend time together. So we don't need Valentine's Day to tell us to do that. So it's like but it's still fun every now and then to have fun with it, nothing wrong with it either way.
You got to show some affection, but
Yeah.
and my wife's not over the top on it, but it's nice to show each other you care.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So that's a great question, Marty. I'm glad you brought that up. That was very, very nice. Very nice. All right, so we actually got a few good things to talk about this week. So first off, I'm going to start off with the Nintendo impromptu tweet direct that we got. Did you guys see that? We got like several things mentioned every hour on the hour.
I didn't notice it until someone made a note of Nintendo's tweet saying, "Hey, they did this."
Yes.
So I went back and verified, in fact, they did do this.
From
So
6 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific time, they posted a game, starting with Princess Peach Showtime, featuring 4 newly announced transformations. Jesse, I know you don't want to know about this stuff, so do you want to take your headphones off? Or?
I've already seen didn't watch the video, but I've seen the thumbs. It's fine.
All right. Okay. So well, on top of the 6 transformations that we've seen already, the I can't even say it. Patisserie Peach, Kung Fu Peach, Sword Fighter Peach, Detective Peach, Ninja Peach, and Cowgirl Peach. We got 4 new ones: Figure Skater Peach, Dashing Thief Peach, Mermaid Peach, and Mighty Peach.
That's like the Super Sentai Peach.
Yes.
Yes.
See, I have not seen that one, so that's kind of funny.
Yeah. So, can we just go ahead and throw out here that people are already being wildly inappropriate with Mermaid Peach?
Of course they are. Of course they are.
Welcome to the internet.
Wholesome. My daughter, who's 5, was like, "Oh, that's so cool. She wants to play this game so bad. She's already invested." And then when she say the thief one was, she did not go thief. She's like, "Oh, she's something." And I was like, "No, she's a thief." And she's like, "What?" Or I'm like, "She's like a cat burglar." She's like, "What's that?" And I had to explain what the cat burglar does. She goes, "That sounds illegal." I was like, "It is."
And a career was born.
She's sleuthing through the house,
so
just
researching
Panther theme.
Now she's researching Selena Kyle.
Yep.
Great.
Good old Dan from Retro Logic says he thinks that this game is a beat 'em up.
It looks like parts of it might be right. Like the parts,
certain stages. It sounds like each stage will have its own little play mechanic, almost like a mini game.
Yeah. It depends what play you're doing, right? Because it's all on stage. Yeah,
we've already got
beat 'em up esque.
Yeah, because I don't think we'll be living each of these transformations for long. We've already got 10 transformations. If we think there might be others, we're already sitting at, unless these are like 2 or 3 hours each, we're already at like a 20 or 30-hour game going on here.
Well, and I think that's the issue is we don't really know what the premise of the game is, other than Peach puts on different costumes and it's on a stage.
That part's still unknown.
And we're like a month out from it.
That's how Nintendo works. That's how they work.
It's just that there's not a whole lot of. I think that's people's fear, right? Like that there's not a whole lot of game there, that it's just like mini games.
But why?
Exactly.
Why are people always questioning what Nintendo is doing when it comes to marketing their game?
Because I'll tell you why. It's because when you see something like this, for me, I'm all in on the game already. I just want this to be known before I say this. But I remember Yoshi Touch and Go from the DS.
Okay.
That literally was basically a Yoshi tech demo.
Yeah.
$40.
Well, in this day and age, though, it seems like Nintendo has gotten better at explaining what their games are about. Yes, for sure. There's always one bad apple, if you will. Or even further back in the day, it was harder to show off a game or talk about it or whatever. So
I think there's a lot of this game that they're not showing us
for sure.
For a reason.
Sure.
It's like they'll do that, right? They will put out a game and they'll only show you like the first hour, and people will be like, it's so simple, it's so childish, and then like the rest of it comes out and it's like, oh,
right.
Yeah, the difficulty of Nintendo first-party games are usually after the credits.
Or close to the credits.
Yeah. Like if you look at a Mario game, you normally beat Bowser first, then you get the hard stuff.
Do you think we'll get a Princess Peach Direct?
At this point, no. I think the tweet with the Joy-Cons was the Direct.
Yeah. I don't know if we're gonna get Direct.
I think it will be in the other Direct if there is another Direct.
If there is one.
I think they're gonna not do a Direct. No, I don't think it's happening.
I seem to remember Justin Masson telling us that we would get a tweet on the morning of February 6th at 9 a.m. Central Time.
He was wrong. He was wrong.
For a roughly 40-minute Nintendo Direct talking about our plans for spring and summer. No new hardware will be shown.
Yep.
Was that a good Justin impression?
You guys were you guys went to the wrong.
You forgot to say
you didn't go into the future. You guys went into an alternate universe, and apparently you went to the wrong alternate universe to see what was supposed to be coming.
Where's our Justin was wrong soundbite in this moment?
That's what I
did. You get the happy. You need to get the Happy Gilmore drop.
We got this.
I hate you. You were right. I hate you. That's good too. You're smart. I'm dumb. You know the whole thing.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll send you that one, Jesse.
We got to be careful talking about him because he'll call into the show here in just a second.
He'll just pop in. If we say his name 2 more times, he might show up. So
he is Beetlejuice incarnate.
What's wrong with you?
So I think the reason too, and what Marty was kind of talking about, I know why. It's the same reason why the people freaked out with Microsoft, right? Like everyone expects something and they think they know something and they don't. It's like, wow, Nintendo should do this. Okay, is that what you do with your $1 billion video game company? Oh, you don't have one? Okay, sit down and shut up. Let them do their job. I'm tired.
Quiet.
Be quiet. Like
we've been hearing a lot of that kind of stuff too with Microsoft as well.
Yeah,
with their,
we're going to get to that later on. We're going to get to old Microsoft.
But it's the same. It's the same thing. Different side of the coin, right? Just
everybody's got their their inside scoops, or they think they know what's going on, and every once in a while, like we said before, somebody's going to get it right. So
yeah, sure. I mean, hey, a clock's right. Like, what's the saying?
Twice
a day.
Twice a day.
Clock's
yeah,
right. Yeah. Twice a day.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I think I think it's a weird thing. I think there's just too many people that have voices that don't need to have a voice, and it's the loud minority.
Again, welcome to the internet.
Yeah.
We may be some of those people, Casey. Well, I mean, we may be some of those people. So
we've all speculated. Like it was you guys talking about it possibly being on that first week or whatever that week of the 8th was. And then Jesse and I last week were talking about, well, maybe it's going to be this week because of whatever reason. And then it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And
the second Wednesday instead of the first Wednesday.
The speculation.
But then you guys didn't say Nintendo's over. Nintendo's ruined. They don't know what they're doing. You didn't. There are levels to speculate. Everyone can speculate theories.
Nintendo knows damn well what they're doing.
Yes.
No one else knows what Nintendo's doing.
Listen, Nintendo as a company has already collapsed. They just don't know.
They're doomed.
They're doomed.
Right.
They're triple doomed. They're triple dog doomed.
It's over.
I always see those comments on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it now. They're like, "Oh man, Nintendo's getting crushed," and it's like, look at the all-time sales, guy. Like the scoreboard. Hey. People say some outlandish things.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about the pile of dog crap that Sony stepped in this week. So
Oh yeah. What they said that the PS5 is like on the tail end of its shelf life. How old is the PS5?
It came out in 2020.
So the three and a half
blur since then.
Well, they're 3.5 years in. They're saying this is about the midpoint of the life cycle, which half, double 3.5 is 7, which that kind of makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then they also followed it up with, and we'll have no major releases until March of 2025.
That's where they stepped in it.
Yeah. Like,
keep
wow.
that in mind. We're going to talk about that more later on.
I'm glad.
There's a question along with that I have. So along with that,
we got way off the tweets thing.
No, this is great. This is how I envision us talking about this stuff anyways, to have natural conversation. But I want to get us back on track a little bit. Just let's get through some of the other tweets they had each hour. Besides the Princess Peach, they had a short for Super Mario RPG. Did anybody watch that? I actually missed it, but it was for Valentine's Day.
I did see all the shorts that they released.
Okay. Nice. And then they had another hour later. They had a Mario Minis making chocolates for Valentine's Day short.
Okay.
And then 9 o'clock they had Tomb Raider 1 through 3 remastered, starring Lara Croft, is now available. And actually that's one I wanted to pick up, but I haven't gotten around to picking it up. Did anybody else here get that?
Nope.
I looked at it. It looked interesting. They look like they did a good job with it.
We have a video. We have a video on our channel right now.
Nice.
Starring Lara Croft, voiced by yours truly.
Sweet. I didn't know that. I didn't know that came in.
I showed off the tutorial and how that you swap back and forth and the first stage of Tomb Raider 1.
All right. So a first look at that. That's cool. And how did it look? How did it look when you played it?
So the remastered versions, actually, I was impressed. I mean, it's still, you could tell it was a PlayStation 1
game,
era game. But the way that they integrate the switching, which is the plus button, you can press the plus button at any time, even in the menu and cutscenes, to swap back and forth between the retro version and the remastered version, and it's seamless. Like, it happens immediately. There's a huge difference. But for me, it's like, I said this in the video, like, I bought Tomb Raider for my PC back in the day, and never really finished it, never really played it that much because the controls put me off, because it was those tank controls. They did update the controls. They have modern controls now.
Okay.
But it's still like all the games in that era are really super touchy about, like, if you move forward, she's going to move forward, right?
Okay.
Like, there's a walk button for a reason. You have to hold the button to walk up to stuff.
The original PS1 did not have an analog stick. It had a D-pad.
Yep, that's correct. So the controls in the game, the way it shows it, like when you go into the menu, you can tell it's built for tank controls, because it talks about like backing up and left and right and all that. But the modern controls make it a lot better. The tutorial, though, is also voiced and like planned for you to use tank controls. So some of it's a little confusing. And I think that's the biggest knock against the game, is like, if you just jump into it, there is literally nothing on the screen telling you what to do. You're just sitting there kind of figuring it out. And the tutorial is not as good as it could be. I didn't stick with it all the way for the video because I didn't want to do just tutorial stuff. Okay. But I think overall, like, here's the thing. Like, I'm not a huge, like, I don't have a lot of nostalgia for Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
But I think they did a good job on it. Like, if you put this up against any of the other retro collections, like, I'm putting it up there with like the Disney Aladdin collection, that they did that's a good, the Castlevania Contra version, Mega Man Legacy collection.
The Mega Man Legacies are great.
Those really honored the spirit of those games. Now, then you got the garbage fire that is the Gargoyles remastered. That's clear cash grab.
That wasn't part of the Disney Afternoon package, right?
No.
Okay, that was another good one. That was
Tailspin and Chippendales, Rescue Rangers, and DuckTales.
And Tiny Toons.
No, they weren't Disney.
Tiny Toons is Warner Brothers.
Tiny Toons, Warner Brothers.
Oh, that is Warner Brothers. You're right. What am I thinking of? I think so. Did they remaster that though?
No.
So the Disney Afternoon collection is Chippendale, Darkwing Duck, DuckTales 1,
Darkwing Duck is one I couldn't think of. Yeah.
So that is still the game to this day that blows my mind that never came to Switch.
The DuckTales remaster.
No,
The-
no,
all of
that
them.
Disney
The
collection.
Disney afternoon.
Oh, that all of them. Sorry. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
of the remaster of DuckTales. Well, DuckTales is, I always tell people when I play Shovel Knight, if you like Shovel Knight, you like DuckTales from the NES, because
Oh yeah,
it's got the cane jump. That game from the NES is one of my all-time favorites. The DuckTales
right.
was
Yeah.
so good.
Let's circle back over to the tweets. We got at 10 o'clock, the
Yeah.
Fashion Dreamers Classic Fair update. So it got some free DLC, it sounds like, for that Fashion Dreamers game. And 11 o'clock announcing that Wise X Nordics will be released this fall.
East 10.
East 10.
Wise
Yeah.
X. Wise X.
Wise X. Wise X going to give it to you. No, the developers actually hinted with 2 pictures of dice on 5s, and they're like, oh, like people that like the Wise X or Yeezy X. Now I'm just gonna call it whatever I want. They were really excited. I'm a big JRPG guy. That's one that's always like slipped past me, but people say I would really enjoy it, so I'm interested in that one.
Yep.
Yeah, I tried playing East 8 and it didn't click with me, and I
Didn't
never
get you?
tried. I think the only East game I played was 1.
I remember playing 3 on the TurboGrafx 16 back in the day, and having absolutely
Wow.
no clue what the game was, like what the lore was, anything. It just looked like Zelda, and it had a really cool. It had great music.
I think I tried
So-
one of the demos on the DS or something like that, and it didn't click with me either.
Yeah, I think it was the Ease one that I played was the TurboGrafx version on Wii U Virtual Console. So probably not the best version of the game.
Personally, I can't wait till the Little Ease X DLC comes out.
Little East X, yes.
So was that our direct, guys? Was that our direct?
No.
Not. I really
I know
hope
Jeff-
not.
Right.
Jeff Grubb, I think, has said some stuff, right? That there's probably going to be one next week because they didn't want to compete with Microsoft, right?
Yeah. Do you guys think that's true?
I don't know what to
I
think
don't
anymore.
think- well, here's the deal. If Nintendo knew what Microsoft was going to do in that podcast today, I wouldn't have moved it. I'd have stood my ground. I would have said, here it is. I do
yeah.
think that the reason that they did move it, though, it is that those games that Phil Spencer mentioned, which he said, we're going to leave that to our partners, or we're going to leave that to people to
Yes.
reveal. Those are all 4 of those are part of the direct, and they're going to be like in a big section, and it's going to be like these Xbox or titles are now available on Nintendo Switch.
Do you think they're doing that, right, to get the title? Do you think that they could try to play nice and get Game Pass on the Switch?
I
No,
thought
they won't.
bring that.
So-
Yeah,
that
that was
They
one
mentioned-
thing that they did specifically mention that in their podcast is that
Yes.
Game Pass will remain Xbox only.
Game Pass,
Okay.
Which means-
Xbox
Right.
only.
And we're
For
gonna
now.
we'll get to that in
Yes.
a bit. We've got bullets
Well,
for that for later.
We're talking about Xbox.
I think
Let's
that's
just
a great segue into that,
roll
yeah.
right into it here. So we had that Xbox. Well, not we did it, but Xbox had the official Xbox podcast earlier today, same day as we have our podcast. They did us a favor by doing it earlier. So thank you, Xbox. Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, and Matt Booty got together with their host of the podcast, discussed several updates on the Xbox business, including the exclusivity with Activision Blizzard, Game Pass, and hardware. And some of the takeaways we have is the game exclusivities they were talking about. So they brought up and reiterated the things that they've always been talking about, that they will always look at their game catalog and see what makes sense to bring to other consoles or other systems, but they will always focus on Xbox brand and will have their exclusivities there and will stay there. So what do you guys think of that? And that first thing, the
So
game
this-
exclusivity,
this-
because everybody was saying, sorry, just real quick, leading up to this, everybody was saying, oh no, everything's coming to PS5 and Nintendo Switch and this and that, and
there were
your
a lot of
toaster.
There were a lot of people that were acting like the world was ending because
Yes.
Xbox games weren't going to be exclusive, and they're shutting down the games division, and it's Microsoft Game Pass. There's no more Xbox. Walmart's getting rid of their Xbox section, and none of that is happening. I think
even my daughter goes, "Hey, I heard that Xbox was not going to make Xboxes anymore." I'm like, "Yeah, that's not true."
Right.
So
Yeah.
I watched like the first. It was a 22-minute presentation. I watched maybe the first 12 to 14 minutes of this, and I turned it off. I was just like, number one, I'm not in the Xbox ecosystem, so not really. They were talking about
Not
a lot
your
of
deal.
things that don't really matter to me,
Yeah.
but I wanted to see what the big thing was. They mentioned 4 games that they're going to have on other platforms, right? The other consoles. What was interesting to me about this was that Phil Spencer never would mention the specific consoles these were going to be on.
Yep. He
So
did not mention the consoles or the games.
Yeah, they outright said what 4 games, and he said that's coming later. Our partners will detail that.
Right.
So
they also clarified too, Starfield and Indiana Jones was not going to be one of those 4 games.
Yeah,
which is smart. They need to keep something on home, right?
That goes back to the exclusivity.
There's a ton of stuff that's on home still. It's older, but I was hoping that some of these games that we're going to mention this speculation. I was hoping that there would be some other games among this, right? Like especially like the Rare Replay Collection. I was hoping would come to Switch. And so full disclosure on this, we don't know if these games are coming to Switch or not. It could be 1 to Switch and 3 to PS5. It could be 1 to Switch, 2 to PS5, 1 to PC, right? Or whatever.
Or all to both.
Yeah,
they're always going to go to PC.
Both. Right. Well, that's true. That's true. So the 4 games that most people are speculating are Sea of Thieves, Grounded, Pentiment, and Hi-Fi Rush. And I think out of those, he did mention though, and I'll say this, he said 2 of those are going to be kind of games as a service, and 2 of those are going to be games that have dedicated communities already that are not games as a service. So I know that Sea of Thieves is one of those games as a service. What is the other one?
Grounded.
Killer Instinct.
Grounded.
I really wish we'd got Killer Instinct. But what is so okay for the uneducated, which is me? What is Grounded?
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids video game.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
It's cool.
You're shrunk in, and you gotta navigate through your backyard or wherever, because you're tiny. And it's been really. Nick talks about it a lot on Game Pass Tracker. He's played it a lot. I don't know if he still does, but he's played it a lot, and it sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Friendo says Stadia and Amiga are back. Yeah, if it's on the Stadia, that'd be great.
Do you mean Amiga or do you mean Amico? Because both are valid. Man. Both are valid slots in this statement.
Right.
I don't think. Listen. So with the whole Activision lawsuit, Sony came after Microsoft pretty hard, and being that they are a business, I know they want to put stuff out there. I don't think Sony's getting the handouts, right? Like, it's been stated. They went to Nintendo. They offered him $52 billion. Nintendo laughed him out of the building like, no. And, and they want, like, Microsoft wants a piece of the Nintendo pie. They want to play nice with them. They're both located in Redmond, Washington. I think, and obviously them saying we're going to let our other people. I'm sure Phil is talking with Nintendo and trying to respect how Nintendo does things, and that's why he's letting them. He's not announcing things yet. And maybe Sony gets one thing. We know Sony's still going to get Call of Duty. That was the big thing that they wanted. But I don't think they care to give Sony a bunch of other stuff. Like, I think Sony rubbed them the wrong way in that whole lawsuit.
I'm sure that it did, but there's still business to be done. And they're going to want to make money on the service games like Grounded and Sea of Thieves. And it probably makes more sense to go with PS5 for those type of games.
Just even
now you can presuming these on your phone.
Yeah, presuming these are digital only. There probably won't be,
True.
But just to make the math easier, 30% of the sales are going to go to Sony, but you still get 70%. That's better than 0.
Right.
And one of the things they mentioned was that they saturated their market with these games, and they want to see it grow. So that's why offering it in another area would
Phil
help.
Spencer does talk about like the console war. He's very anti like the consoles. He thinks everybody should be able to play on what they want to play
what
on.
you want to play on.
Yeah,
makes sense.
That's his whole shtick.
But it's also it reiterates what they've been saying from the start, which is we will put games out there. And by the way, to clarify, he also said just because they're bringing these games doesn't mean it signals everything's coming to these systems.
Right.
It's just these games, and they're always going to evaluate games to see if it makes sense to bring it to another console after it's had its time on Xbox. So, but Xbox is always going to have their exclusivities and things to bring you back, hopefully, to them, and that's why they're doing this. They're
and I would say to add to that, Tim, that they did announce that they're actively working on the next console.
Yes.
So this is not like this was not Xbox's exit strategy from the video game space, like some people thought it would be. But although I do think it was very interesting, and some people pointed this out at the very beginning, that when Phil Spencer first showed up on that video, he looked and sounded extremely nervous. Well, like almost like he was about to drop some kind of big bomb, right?
Yeah. I know personally too from someone that works at Microsoft. They were telling me how big of the fandom and the people like were getting harassed a lot. It was a lot of fires last week just because of people being ridiculous. And everyone that worked at Microsoft like, this is the weirdest thing. We didn't do anything, and like people are getting threatened. It's way over the top. It was
this is why they did this. They wanted to put out the fires, essentially. They wanted to put these out. And this is something that we are not used to seeing. A company coming out as big as they are and saying, because we always want Nintendo to come out and say something. We always want Sony, we want Nintendo. I don't know about Sony, but we always want these companies to come out and say, tell us what's going on. Tell us what your views are. Set us straight. And they did that. That's what they came out to do, to set us straight. Yes, it wasn't the most exciting thing. It wasn't the big showcase thing that they do at E3 type event. It wasn't a thing to set things straight, to say this is where we are with Xbox. This is where we're still on a roadmap for it. So, and that's all it was. And we got a couple glimpses at things that are coming out, like the Activision Blizzard thing. They talked about the acquisition a little bit more, and that they were planning on bringing Diablo 4 on March 28th to Game Pass.
But that's the beginning of all Activision Blizzard games coming to Game Pass.
Yes. After that, there's no specific timeline for the other games. No, but that's what they gave was that one.
Probably like the Nintendo 64 on NSO, it's going to be a drip and a trickle.
Right.
And I don't think games like Diablo 4 are going to be day one Game Pass games. I think they're going to want to milk some sales out of that.
Mm-hmm. And they got to be careful too on because they got what they wanted out of it. But again, it's going back to what they reiterated about was being the biggest publisher now for all three consoles. So, and that's how they're going to be able to make revenue on that kind of stuff. So and I'm sure Justin would be eating this up if he were here about the business side.
Another thing that was said near the end that the Xbox claims, I'm reading this from a tweet from Andy Robinson from VGC. Xbox claims its next console will be the largest technical leap you have ever seen. And I kind of had the same thought as Modern Vintage Gamer, who tweets, Super Nintendo to N64 would like to have a word with you.
Well, I saw a response to that too. That was basically said, so the next Xbox is going to be a handheld because handheld gaming's, and it said Steam Deck, Switch, all this Steam handheld gaming's where it's at. I don't personally feel like, and I'm sure there's going to be somebody who will correct me on this. I really don't feel that we have seen the potential of the huge the huge leap between PS4, PS5, Xbox One X to Series X, right? Other than, hey, it loads things faster. So I don't know, like what is a huge technical?
I think that Matrix demo was probably the most we've seen, but we've never seen anything that actually has gameplay in it yet.
And I think
Yeah.
that's what's so
That's at
what's
that
so
level.
irksome. What's so irksome to people about Sony on that end is the lack of exclusive titles and the lack of games that have really quote unquote made a PS5 worth owning. Right? You know, like especially first party stuff. Now, I would argue Spider-Man 2 is a great example for that. I thought Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart was a great example of that. Was God of War Ragnarok, was it on PS4 as well? Or was it just PS5
A
exclusive?
lot of them have been on both systems, but
Yeah.
they obviously if it's on PS5, it does push it more and
Sure. I mean,
look
it
better.
does. And I think, you know, part of that anger too comes from like The Last of Us 2 already getting a remaster when it was
Yeah.
a PS4 game, and now it's you know, it's like, and it didn't really do all that much. I don't know. I haven't played that one. I'm playing one,
Yeah.
still making my way through that, and it's good, but like I still feel like that could have like, well, I think it is a PS4 game. The version. I don't think there was, maybe there was a PS5 version. I don't know. I just
I
buy
can't keep it
games.
straight either.
I just buy it's that has been singly the most confusing thing about this gen is it PS4? Is it PS5? Is it upgrade? Does it not? You know, I
Right.
don't care. I just want to play good games.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so uh like I think this is a good strategy for Microsoft, but I am not ready to talk about the end of this console generation. I think it's way too soon. It feels a little slimy. It I don't know.
But
Especially
it's always they always talk about that they're working on the next big thing,
well, I
right?
get that, but like I think that especially like I y'all we this console generation is different because of the pandemic and because of things
Yes.
we had to go through, especially with the availability of those consoles. So I
Mhm.
kind of feel like, and this is just Marty's opinion, that's all it's worth, is that they should give a little grace on that, and they owe us a little bit more this generation, like a little bit more time,
Yes.
because it took so long for those platforms to really become available and really get off the ground, especially
Yeah.
PlayStation 5.
Yep. And I think we're also seeing a little bit of
PlayStation
that.
5 is the big one. Yeah.
We're also seeing that a little bit too with the development that I think we've seen it already with Nintendo and probably because they're already switching over to the next successor anyways, but it's starting to trickle through more and more where we're seeing this lag of games. Like we talked about it briefly about Sony's no new games until their end of their fiscal year in March 2025. Xbox has been having a hard time getting their exclusives out, and when they do, they've been kind
Yeah.
of like, eh. Uh, but there's, I think the pandemic is starting to show up there, and we just have to wait to get through that, and hopefully everybody will get to that stride.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, Marty, that I want to be able to get to see those awesome games I was expecting to see on my PS5 or on the X or whatever. So,
You're
but
getting one this month with Final Fantasy Rebirth. Like
yes, we're
Mikey
starting to see
Drinker
those
says.
things because that was mainly built for PS5 in mind. But also keep in mind too, Sarah Bond mentioned in her spiel about the hardware that there's more hardware announcements for the upcoming holiday coming. So that could lead to that speculated handheld that was mentioned in the internets and what Marty hinted at too. Maybe there's an Xbox handheld specifically made by the Surface team that I've seen, rumors about. Who knows? But it's something I'm sure that's going to go along the same lines of what we seen Xbox talk about today, which is pushing the Xbox business and reminding everybody that they're sticking with it and they're here to stay and they're just making business moves. So
Yeah.
all right. So,
Although, I will say this as we close out. I do think my takeaway from this is I would like to see Nintendo do something like this with the launch of whatever's next,
mhm.
because today was like, I felt was very, yes, Phil Spencer was nervous at the beginning, but it was also, there was some vulnerability there from their leadership. And I
Yeah.
think that Nintendo has something to gain from that. I mean, like, let that.
I think they do it though, right?
They
Like,
here's
hey, we're
what the
not
most.
making Metroid Prime 4 because it's not good enough.
Yeah,
Like,
but that
and
was
that's it, right? Like, I think culturally, it's about it's honor and saving face too. I don't think they're gonna be as like emotionally available in that sense because it's
so
a business to
so
them.
to me. There's a difference in that where they're like, "Hey, we stepped in it. Metroid Prime 4 is having to be rebooted. We're
Yeah.
working on it. Just trust us." There's a difference in that, and there's a difference in how they revealed the Switch in Japan with that live event where
Mhm.
Koizumi was out on stage and he was like actively showing the Joy-Con and he was
Yeah.
lounging on the couch. That's what I'm talking about. That moment, I will always remember that Switch presentation because
That was great.
it felt interactive. It felt like, hey, we're responding to and here's and like in that situation, that was Nintendo punching up, right? Because they knew they had to.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's like if this doesn't work, we're screwed. So they put this personal touch on it that they normally don't do. They had the wacky Splatoon 2 guy out there and doing all that, and then they had the video demos and things and like the arms commercial and all that, which
Right.
that's what I'm talking about. Like when they start talking about Switch 2, Super Nintendo Switch, whatever it's going to be called, I want to see them return to that. Like I would like some more treehouse. Hey, we're showing you the Nintendo Switch. We're sitting on a couch. We're having a conversation other than just really slickly produced directs. I like those. There's nothing wrong with those, but
There's
there's
a time
something
and a place for those.
for
Right.
connecting with your audience and saying this is the direction we're going in.
Right.
And that's what they did today. They said this is the direction Xbox is going in. Please come with us. And we'll give you more details later. It doesn't have to be the whole shebang
Right.
right now. It's just like tell us.
Laying it out, giving us a little bit of a roadmap like they did
Mainly what
towards the
I'm
end.
saying
Like,
is it's time, Nintendo, it's time to tell
it's
us
time to lay it out, give us a roadmap. Let
what's
us know
going, what's
Yeah.
going
what's
on.
going on and all that kind of stuff. Well, let's dive into that a little bit. I was saving this for the let's talk later on or the our let's discuss later. But since we're talking about Microsoft now and we brought up Sony, let's talk about this now. Is this the right time now for Nintendo to strike? Should Nintendo strike next week with an announcement for the Switch, the
Yeah.
successor? Like Microsoft is dealing with all this stuff. Sony isn't going to have anything new game wise until 2025. Should Nintendo be, striking?
I think it's a good idea. Yeah, just to
Yes,
show.
I
Yeah,
think so.
we're in our 8th year, and this is what we still have coming.
I think so too. I think and maybe it's part of me just wants to hear something like, "Come on, Nintendo, tell me what's going on." Maybe that's part of it too. But ultimately, I'm trying to think business side. All right, we let Microsoft do their spiel. If it's true what Jeff Grubb said, we're going to do our Nintendo Direct next week. Obviously, it's going to talk about games that we already have planned. What maybe we're going to have for the next 6 months or up to the summer at least. And then maybe not at the direct, but maybe in sometime in March or something, then they do the teaser like they did in 2016 October, right? Where they did the teaser trailer for here's what will be, the Switch successor will be, and more information will come in, say May or June or something like that. However they do it, it's either at the direct or at a later specific, they just release a video or whatever, with the teaser. The sooner the better, I think, especially with Sony kind of feeling it right now and Microsoft dealing with what they're dealing with.
I still don't think we'll see a hardware announcement this month, but if they are still planning a direct in February, it'll be likely partner showcase or something.
Okay.
They're not going to have any major first party games, but they'll have the third parties to show off.
Well, it could be a direct that still shows off more of the partner stuff and maybe shows off a little bit of more of Peach, like we were talking about. We don't know exactly what that is, but maybe there will be something. Who knows? who knows anymore what Nintendo's going to do? But as we were talking, maybe yes again, hopes of them showing something would be cool. But on the business side, it also would be kind of cool if Nintendo would strike when the time was right, you know? All right. Next up in the news, we got Sega says Sonic Superstars sales didn't go fast. Sega has released its financial results from Q3 of 2024, and it paints a somewhat disappointing picture of the company as it reports sluggish sales of premium titles, including Sonic Superstars. Is that a uh-oh moment
So
again
I think
for
this is really
them?
unfortunate when they've just announced, like at the Game Awards, they just leaned into like all these franchise reboots that looked really cool, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
this is not what they want to hear, right
Well-
here. But also, having been someone who played Sonic Superstars, didn't exactly set the world on fire, and like it very much got buried under the Mario Wonder
Mario
title.
Wonder came out the same week. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
what I was
thinking about
going to.
that.
Yeah, they both came out the same week.
Like,
Mario definitely
yeah,
had the hype.
It's like Elden Ring when it came out after Horizon. Every time a Horizon game comes out, like the game of the year comes out the same next week, right? Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
And then, but like, I don't know. Obviously, Sega didn't know about Wonder. They probably could have moved the date back. If I'm someone there, I would see like Nintendo's making a mainline Mario game. I'd be like, hey, let's push it like 3 weeks. You know, like let's give it a. Can we get it out sooner? Can we get it out later? Let's give it some time. Like you played it, or can we just they lowered the price so fast on it,
Yeah,
so
because
fast.
they were wanting those sales. You know, they
Yeah.
they were wanting to get that quick cash. It was definitely a Ubisoft move, right? Like
Mhm.
let's lower it
Mhm.
and we'll hopefully sell. It like the thing about Superstars is it looks like it the classic Sonic, right?
Mhm.
But it also suffers from the same problems as classic Sonic. Like
It doesn't update like Mania. It doesn't feel
no,
like Sonic Mania.
and Sonic Mania is still
Mm.
the best new 2D Sonic game I've ever played.
Yeah,
But
great at $5. Great investment, everybody.
what I don't understand is how every person who's ever made a Sonic the Hedgehog game doesn't understand all we want to do is just run. We don't want to
I want
jump
to go fast.
like platforms. We don't want to get hit by everything when we're running, which is actually what the game is about. Make a game where you run as Sonic.
Yep.
Not a driving game, not a racing game. Make a game where you run. And they just can't do it.
Or I think Frontiers was pretty good too. Like Frontiers wasn't like Sonic fans are so beaten down that because it was everyone thought the game was okay. They're like, yeah, this is a fit, you know. And it is an okay game. It's totally fine. I think you can keep building on that. But you're right. People just want to go quick. You know, they don't want to.
Well,
Yeah.
this works out for the Nintendo dads to buy Sega for the Sega moms. So that's what Justin's off doing right now, is trying to go purchase Sega. So, you know, they're
Sega
down,
moms.
they're on the low end.
We've sent him out. Yeah.
Yep. He's out there trying to purchase that for the Sega moms. So we'll have them, they'll have their own, you know, they'll have the company to themselves. So, all right. Next in the news is Nintendo to stop repairing 2DSs, new 3DSs, and 3DS XLs. Nintendo has confirmed via its customer service account that it will stop repairing those systems in the land of the rising sun. The repairs will stop once each system's current stock of repair parts is no longer available. No shocker there, right?
Right. I
I'm
mean,
surprised it took this long.
but confirmed, Nintendo hates the 2DS, the 3DS, and the 3DS XL.
We actually got a question from the community about this topic too, from KoopaKid80. He asks, with Nintendo stopping repairs for these systems, do you think prices for those used consoles will continue to climb? And some of those consoles are extremely pricey. Do you think this will one day also be the case for used Switch console variants?
This
Yes.
would be the time to get a 3DS, I would say. Like if you
haven't got one already.
Yeah, or if you want to get a newer one because your old one's kind of like mine has like I have the Link Between World DS XL, right? And the
Yes.
pad has worn off of it because of how much I played it. I love my 3DS. I'd probably get a new 3DS. There's a very popular game shop here in Washington called Pink Gorilla Games. Ooh, nice. Nice and clean.
That's why I got
Um,
that one. It's for that reason.
But Pink Gorilla Games, DS Koopa is the guy, and he's on Twitch, and he'll
Yep.
stream like in his shop. And he
Well,
was
we
saying
also
right now
had,
the price for the Wii is crazy.
we had what's her name on the show too. So
Kelsey
Kelsey,
Lewan?
yeah, Kelsey. We had her on the show too.
That's his
But,
wife, yeah.
Yep. Well, they're not married anymore.
Oh, I did not know that.
They're
Okay.
still business
Sorry.
partners. They still both each have their own
Okay,
store.
well, that's good. That's good.
But yeah, so
I did not know they were not married.
Yeah.
Yes, they work together. She's worked big in game preservation too.
Yep.
That's
but yeah,
a lot
I've
that
always
they
wanted
still
to go
work
to the
together.
Pink Gorilla, so that's cool.
Okay, yeah. I'll next time I'm gonna send a picture to you one day when I'm there.
You'll have to do a video if they'll let you do it. Like I'm sure
I'm
they'll be cool
sure,
about it.
right?
Just let them know and be like,
Yeah.
hey, for the Nintendo dads, can I do a video? And then
Yeah.
especially if you go to
Can I do a
Kelsey's
quick
store.
interview? Yeah.
You go to Kelsey's
Get
store.
out.
Hey, remember the
Okay.
Nintendo dads? They were wondering if I
With
could get
them
a video of your store.
Yeah. But they were saying that the Wii prices are insane. Like even Wii Sports, which there's tons of copies, I think is like $60 right now.
Yeah.
So if you actually are looking to trade in, this is the time too.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
That's actually another question too.
I've got the
that.
orange and white ice. I call it the ice cream 2DS XL.
Creamsicle.
The creamsicle.
Creamsicle is my favorite. One of my favorite. Or Hook 'em Horns, Texas, the burnt orange too, right?
Oh yes,
Okay.
yes.
Or Tennessee, right? Tennessee's orange and
It's
white.
Tennessee
as well.
colors. Yeah, it's Vols colors.
It's-
So
Yeah, it's balls too. Yeah,
the inside buttons are there though a weird like yellowy orange, and the trim is a different color. It's really strange that I don't know if they couldn't like replicate that with the buttons.
Yeah.
But either way, it's still. I mean, it's such a. If you've got a 2DS or 3DS and you've got like purchases tied up on there and stuff, man, it's like those games. That's where they're going to live, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Because they're not. I don't think they're going to have a way for us to play those again. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Unless that new Switch has a dual screen.
Yep.
All right. Let's talk about some quick releases and updates, and then we'll move over to the next section or do our ad break in a section in a minute here. So we got our releases coming up. A few things that we got videos on. Lords of Exile we'll have a video on. If it's not out already, we'll be out soon. We'll have a first look at that. And then Mario versus Donkey Kong, I'm sure we'll have a video of that out as well. We already have a demo of it out, but I'm sure we'll get another video out of that. Other games that are out, Arzette, the Jewel of Faramore, which I think is
That's the spiritual successor to the CDI Zelda games.
Yes, thank you.
Ugh.
So if you are a fan of those games,
You have some
Arzette's probably much better than those, but it's pretty funny. I saw a
Is
clip
that
of
why
the
Limited Run
animation.
Games is re-releasing the controller?
Probably. Tomb Raider 1 and through 3, of course, what Marty talked about. So again, there is a video on that as well, of him playing a beginning of that. And then Lake for the Nintendo Switch, Plate Up, which is kind of like a Overcooked game, I think, right?
Yeah.
Plate Up. Those are all out today, or will be once you're hearing this episode. Out soon is Comp 2, which is an Atari game type, but it's a sequel to the original. And we have a video out on that, a first look, or we'll have a first look out on that. That looked very interesting too, by the way. So check that out once that's out. And Inculinati. Oh, thank you very much. Jeez, oh, Pete's.
Like Illuminati, but
yes.
Inculati, yeah.
We'll have a video of that as well, which looks pretty interesting. So the word I just said does not make any sense, but make sure you check out that game when we have a first look out on that.
It's a very cool looking game.
Yes, it looks very interesting.
There's like a hand where you sketch, and it's kind of like a real-time battle strategy game. It's got a lot of interesting pieces to it, for sure.
Yes. So I can't wait to see what that first looks how that goes. And then later Out in March, we have Berserk Boy, which will have a video out as well. Marty did a little bit of that. I'm sure he can't talk about it yet because of embargo, but we'll have a video out once that game
I
goes
don't
out.
think people are really supposed to know I've been playing it, but that's okay. I mean, if you're friends, if you're friends with me on Switch and I'm online, then you see it pop up, right? So I mean, it's
Hey,
not
we're
like
letting him know there's a game coming out, Berserk Boy.
there's a
We'll have
game
first.
that's coming
We'll have a
out.
first look on it when
Yes.
March 6th. So
Yep.
go. So those games we wanted to make sure we highlighted. Let's jump into our ad break from Manscaped. Samus receives a distress call and travels to the farthest reaches of space to stop hair from exploiting your face in Metroids. She helps you discover manscaped.com and learns there's prophecies foretold of your arrival. They left abilities for you to defeat those unwanted hairs. After gathering abilities and tools like the Beard Hedger Pro Kit with a 20-point zoom wheel beard hedger, beard shampoo, conditioner, oil and balm, or the Performance Package 5.0 with a groin and body hair trimmer, ear and nose hair trimmer, anti-chafing ball deodorant, and ball aftershave, you can defeat this hair exploitation. Have those hairs under control, but they're dirtier than a couple space pirates on Talon 4. Then start a peak hygiene plan starting at $18.99 per shipment and keep those shampoos, body washes, and conditioners all coming in on a regular basis. Unseal our discount with NINDADS for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Confront your Metroids and facial hair. Make it your prime directive today and save with discount code NINDADS for 20% and free shipping. That's NINDADS for 20% off and free shipping. All right, Jesse. All right, we're into the Let's Discuss section, and we've got a question of the week that Marty, you started up a couple weeks ago, and people are starting to roll in. They're starting to get used to this, Marty. So we got good stuff out there on your question.
I like it. I like it.
What is
Good
your favorite
stuff.
video game love story was the question of the week, and we got quite a few good responses. But before we go, before we go over some of the other people's, do you guys have anything for your favorite video game love story?
I have two answers.
All right.
I know what yours is.
What's mine?
One of them. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, which one do you think I'm going to say?
It's from Final
Laser
Fantasy
shoot
VI.
Larry.
Okay.
Oh.
No. Okay. No. Not Final Fantasy VI.
Really?
I was going to say Final Fantasy IV, Cecil and Rosa.
Cecil and Rosa. Yeah, that's a good one. That was going to be mine.
And my other one. Well, I'll wait on the other one and let everyone else have a chance in case they say it.
Okay.
Mine. You know, I did Cecil and Rosa was the first one I did think of. I do like that. I kind of think of like games like Harvest Moon, where you have a relationship with someone that it's the story is how you experience that. Like Karen on the, and I obviously the name Karen's aged out bad lately, but her on Harvest Moon 64 was great. And then the Fire Emblem games, like the different romances you can have, and then having like your future kids, or depending on like that, the bonds you make from that. I think that those are great kind of stories to be told too. And sometimes it's like not just like it's platonic, like friendship, love, like the bond between two pals. Yeah, I think those would be my top games.
And I just thought of a third answer, but okay, Tim and Marty.
There you go.
So I thought, like, I had to dig for this one because I don't know, like I thought up the question and I didn't have an answer, but I settled on Titus and Yuna from Final Fantasy X.
Okay.
Probably is the one that is most memorable to me. I need to go play that game again, in fact.
9 has a good love story too.
Okay, so that one was second.
Was it? Bless you.
Because
nice mic mute on the sneeze.
hey,
Sorry.
because
What a professional move.
Final Fantasy IX is my favorite Final Fantasy.
I'm about to fire it up with my son this weekend. We're gonna do the 2-player
Yeah.
mode. That's funny that you said that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. Yeah, but that's a good one.
Yeah.
So
That's like reminds me of 4 the most, the love story wise, I think.
So I was having a hard time trying to think of something too, but then I always go to one of my, favorite series is obviously Metroid. So I thought of the relationship that Samus had with Commander Adam in Other M, where it was more displayed there, but then, obviously they kind of play around with it in the other games, but you learn more about it in Other M. And I thought that relationship there, how it was explained there, I thought was a good, not necessarily love story, but good relationship story there.
Yeah.
Okay, so my other two that I thought of is this one's probably more one-sided, but Mifa and Link.
Oh, from Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
That was a good one. Yeah. No, that's very good.
And then the one I just thought of when you mentioned some of the other RPGs was Dragon Quest V, where you pick your bride. But the original game, he had 2 options. The DS remake, he had a 3rd option, and then you by the end of the game, you're playing as your children with your children in your party.
Right.
Oh, that's cool.
So you're literally you start out as a kid, you grow up, have a family, and you play as your kids. So throughout the course of the game.
That's rad.
That is cool.
All
right.
Friendo says a boy and his blob.
Or Wario and his love of money. That's a good one too. David Balakia or Balika, who is Koopa Kid, Celeste for Switch because throughout the game she learns to deal with her anxiety and mental struggles and love herself more by the end of the game. Because to love someone else properly, you have to first love yourself.
I like that one.
Yeah. Mecha says one of my favorite love stories is in gaming involves Paper Mario. If you know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember, so that doesn't help me.
Me neither.
I don't remember what he's
I
talking
don't know. That's what I remember.
Right. I don't know. Hoot says, love story? How about Kratos and Atreus in God of War, father and son? Does that count? Yes, it does.
Sure does.
Jamie and Shannon both mentioned Noah and Mayo from Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Just shows that none of us have played that game.
I tried to play 2.
I have them. I just never got around to playing those 3. So
2's too long, but I know people love it, and there's a lot that I like. But I don't know. That's a game I might need to give another shot.
When I can't afford the next system, then I'll probably just have to catch up and play all these games. So
there you
go. Sparky says, how about Banjo and Kazooie? Also, there was a lot of bromance amongst the Star Fox crew. So there you go.
Yeah.
And then Zablanc, of course, says Chloe and Rachel, and Nathan Drake and Sully, and him and Eve. It's good stuff. Good stuff.
Good answers. Good answers.
Yes. Love it. Love the response too. Like I went and looked and Patreon area blew up. So, but anytime Marty posts this, the question of the week in our Patreon post, you can answer it there in Patreon, or you can send it to us in the Gmail at nintendodads@gmail.com or in our Discord. All those areas are worth it.
About that weekly post is our weekly update on Patreon is absolutely free for anyone who wants it. So if you go to patreon.com/Nintendo all of those weekly updates are completely open to the public. So if you're listening to the show and you would like to answer, but you're not a patron of the show, you can still go on there. Yes. As long as you have a Patreon account, you can go answer for free.
Or you can get, set up the account, get the email, and you can respond anywhere where we're at and send us your response.
I just want to have people's input. I like it.
It's nice to have it all in one place. Believe me, for me,
That is true.
for all of us to be able to bring it in into the notes.
We're
But
getting old. It's good to have it in one place so we don't have to like go and we'll forget and you know.
right. All right, let's take a time out. All right, Jesse, you got some cool stuff to share. What you got in your timeout this week?
Yeah. So first of all, thanks to Tim who sent me a message on Discord the last week with, "Hey, do you want any of these?" I'm like, "Any of what?" Because he didn't specify yet. And then he sent me a picture of just a bunch of Intellivision games in box on a shelf at whatever store he was at. And I'm like, I don't have a lot of inbox games. I don't know if I have. I don't think I have any of these. I'll take the lot. Just let me know how much money it is, and I'll send it to you. And so and he goes, "Oh, there's a few Atari games over here." So I said, "Okay, I'll take one of those." And then so I give him the money. He pays for that, and then he goes to me. So that was a total of what, $150 including the shipping so far. Then he says, "Oh, he had one thing behind behind the back that might interest you," and he took a picture of it and sent it to me, and it's the red version of demonstration cartridge for the Intellivision, and I just said, "OMG, that is like the holy grail to some collectors." So
Right.
he goes, "It's a little bit more than the others." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know it is. How much does he want?" And he told me the price, and I'm like, sold.
Right.
So
I got to tell you this too, is like when I was waiting for you to respond, we were sitting there talking about it, and I was like, yeah, I don't know if he's going to want this, because it's a little more expensive. And then when you were like, oh my God, it's the Holy Grail. I was like, okay, he might want it. How much is it? And then I told him how much, and it was like, yep, he definitely wants it.
yeah, because I'm not going to say what the price he wanted, but I looked it up on price charting, and with one sale in the last year for an inbox copy, the head was marked at $850. I did not pay that much. I didn't pay a fourth of that. So yeah, I will buy this for what the price he was asking for.
Right.
So
it was super fun to have you be excited about it and get what you got there.
So at some point I do want, I've been threatening to do an Intellivision stream of all the other homebrew that I've gotten. So when I do, I will include this. And
Nice.
this is a demonstration cart. There's no gameplay. It goes through a loop of various text information and graphics showcasing some of the games. Yeah, this is the second one they put out. They released in '79, which took out references to the computer component that was in the original version, which was blue box in cart, based on what I've researched.
Nice.
So yeah, I don't know how many of these are out there, but I like this is definitely the highlight of the collection.
Nice.
Then a few other things I picked up with the electronics class I'm taking. I got an email from one of the vendors that I bought parts from, and they said, "This is a component tester kit that you can put together." So I'm like, "Oh, that could be useful." So I ordered this, and then I looked at some of the other kits they have. And one of them this one's just a plain white box, but in here is a kit to build a variable voltage power supply, which would be useful for any project bench. This is a little kit called Shaking Dice. It has just LED lights on top. You push a button, and I assume it randomizes it like a dice roll.
Cool.
And this is an oscilloscope tutor board. So not 100% sure where did my graphics go there. So I'm not exactly sure what this is going to do, but this is apparently the easiest assembly. They call this a level 1. The dice was 2, and the component tester is a level 3. So I'll probably work my way up to that one.
Nice.
but I still have to. We don't do the soldering labs in a class until the end, near the end of the class. The last two labs will involve soldering, so I'm not going to get to those until April. So it'll be a while before I start putting kits together, but I have a backlog of kits.
Nice. Very, very cool. All right. For me, it was like I was talking about for Valentine's Day. These are the Squishables that I got. So this is
the Death one is
Death.
cute.
Death is here, and then the Raven. This is actually part of the Doctor Plague set they have.
Okay.
And this is King Raven from the Doctor Plague series. So
It's the crown. Okay.
it has a crown on it. And my wife's been into Ravens lately, so that's why I thought it'd be cool for her to have that one. And I just thought this
They're
was
a cool animal. Yeah.
Death has a squishy scythe.
His little Grim Reaper. Yeah.
Yes.
It's very, yeah. That's a cute Grim Reaper, very anime vibe Grim Reaper.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine if you were dying and there's death comes, come to collect you, and it looked like
He was cute like that.
and you're just like,
all right.
oh, you're so cute. Oh, and then
Yeah.
you go up to and hug him and stuff. And
I'd want okay. If I could pick how death would be, it'd be either A, be Death from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
yeah.
B, Death from Family Guy. Right? The Adam Carolla Death.
Yes.
Or C, I think like the Soul Eaters, right? Isn't that they aren't? No, they're not like that. That was thinking the anime. Yeah, I think it would be between those two. Actually, would be my big ones. The Bill and Ted one preferably, because then I could maybe play rock and roll music with them.
Right. Have a good time. That'd be cool. All right, that's it for timeout. Let's check out what we've been playing. All right, Casey, you're our guest today, so tell us what you've been playing first.
Well, I'm still playing through Baldur's Gate. I'm going through. I have 100-something hours into that because I like to flip everything over in that game. I'm in the third and final act. I'm not trying to rush it. I'm trying to get everybody to survive and go through. I'm in like a dicey part where I think like if I make the wrong choices, someone will either leave or someone will die. Trying to be vague, but I love every second of that game. And then on Friday night, I'm playing with a group of friends, and all of our characters are named after actors that are based on our class. My monk is Van Damme, like Jean-Claude, and then we have a halfling mage that's Peter Dinklage. And then it's good.
Perfect.
But the other games I were playing were one that I did first look on the channel for is called INVECTOR Rhythm. The INVECTOR Rhythm game, or Rhythm Galaxy, and it's good. It's really fun. It's like a rail shooter, but there's no shooting. It's really my son. He plays music. He plays violin, and he saw me play it, and he got really into it. And it's really good because it's actually helping him with like keeping his rhythm timing, even though he's got general good music for it. But the songs are cool. And the joke was in the Discord for us was like, hey, it's gotten 4 strikes already for like we can't do that. Like go for the record with copyrighted music. And then and it's really fun. Actually, go ahead.
That's the game that had all those strikes.
Yeah, because all the copyrighted music, right? Like you couldn't do anything about it. And that's why we talked about doing shorts. But I'm glad we showed it. It's really good co-op. I actually went back and did the co-op with my son. And you kind of get a score and try to and if you're not like into Guitar Hero because you don't like holding the guitar, this is all controllers and left bumper, and then it's all the buttons X, A, B, X, Y. But you do have to move left and right with the joystick because my son realized this. He's like, yeah, every time they change this part of the song, like he was talking about, like the build of the song, they make you do like because the chorus is actually like in a tube, right? So you can do a 360. In there, and you have to get that. But he's like, look, every time they change the pitch or something, he said something like that. I was like, oh, he's right.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
like a Tempest
it's really
type
cool
thing, huh?
Yeah. It's really chill. I like that you can just sit. It's something that you can play. Actually, a lot of the games I've been playing are like couch co-op games. Like I wish they had. I do hope they add more like every game as the future progresses. Like every game, like Ninja Turtles was great about it. even though it's digitally, you could just hop online and play with someone if they have a game going.
Okay.
Make it all every console open up and just let us play with whoever. How you make friends on the internet. But the other game I'm playing is called Death Road to Canada.
Yes.
You guys have played that? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So
I love that game.
Dude, that's like one that I think of if I was a kid for sleepovers, I would have had, it would have been an all-nighter and we would have been playing until we beat it. I died. My character died. I have my neighbor who's my good friend. He's in there. He's still alive. My best friend Eric died in our run. And so I'm just down to Hunter. I think I'm probably going to let him die and then just go back. And then we picked up some guy named Hamish, and Hamish died real quick. But I don't know how close I was to Canada. I think I made it pretty close. But it's a zombie apocalypse game where you're trying to go, and then there's like a little beat 'em up aspect, or kind of like some Oregon Trail-esque. Like you stop. Do you want to do a trade? Oh, do you pick up the dog? Right? Like it's that game, and I think it's like $5-10. It's actually really fun.
Yeah, I just looked. It's normally 15, but it is on sale for less than $5 until the 28th.
Oh, yeah, that's less than $5. You will. It's totally worth it. Like snag it now.
Nice.
I might actually put some short clips up of me fighting zombies.
It's so like it's one of those one more run because sometimes you go and you can make like a whole like get session of it, right? But then sometimes you just get boned really quickly because of your like the weapons you find or the things that happen when you make choices in the game. It's very much like an updated Oregon Trail. Think of it that way, except it's combat.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's Oregon Trail combat. And then, like you said, that just one more run. I love that in games. It's like why I love Cuphead. Cuphead's the quintessential, okay, one more run, because of that stupid bar at the end where you see how close you are to beating it. You're like, oh, yes. I'm on a hot streak. I can't quit now. One more run. Run. Yeah, that is a one more run game. So highly recommend Death Road to Canada, especially for under $5.
Nice.
What about you, Tim? What have you been playing?
I've also been playing Baldur's Gate 3 with
how close are you to being done?
Sam and Shannon. We are ready to fight the boss. Actually,
you're in Act 3? Okay.
We are in Act 3. We fought the main boss and failed. We forgot to bring something important with us, and we failed. So we were like, oops, we forgot something. So we just started from the last save, and then we were like, okay, we have to do instead of going right back at it again. We were like, okay, we know what to do, but now we need to go do something else. So
I was at that point with Raphael where I'm like, what do I do with this guy?
So we're pretty darn close to beating it together, and then we'll see. If Baldur's Gate 3 comes to the Switch successor, if it's still handheld and all that kind of stuff, I may play it again there. Because I love it. Go ahead.
Have you played Divinity: Original Sin 2 on the Switch?
Nope.
So it's the same company, Larian Studios.
Oh yeah, I'm familiar with it. Yeah, because they were one of the first ones where you could cross save between Steam and Switch. Yeah,
it's not good on the Switch. I hated it. It just was clunky. It didn't feel like D&D because it's their studio trying to make their own system. So maybe that was it to me. I'm like, this just isn't polished.
Right.
And not because D&D is better. There's like Pathfinder. I'm a big tabletop RPG guy. I like all different systems, but that system was like the classes weren't really clear and cohesive. So I'd be skeptical. And I was like, maybe it's just bad on the Switch. But I know people that play it on Xbox and PlayStation and love it. So
yeah, I've heard a lot of love for that game for sure. And it's just mainly for portability that I would do it. Yeah. But I also do have the backbone, and I can connect to the PlayStation 5. So if I am a double dip, maybe I'll just get it there and try it on there.
It'd be fun to stream it on Nintendo Dads, though. Actually, that's a pretty spicy game. But
it is a spicy game. That is true. It is spicy. I do kind of want to play it, again, and see if I can go a different path on my own or whatever.
Yeah.
I
Do
also
what,
hoped
what the
that
group didn't want to do. Yeah.
I would really like to see, again, this is why I was thinking it would be cool if it came to Nintendo, is if Lorian came out with a co-op version, couch co-op version, to where my wife and I could play together, you know? And
Yeah,
Okay.
I think they
that would
have
be
that on
cool.
Xbox. My understanding is you can couch co-op on Xbox with
Okay.
it. But yeah, that would
So
be
see
fun.
if
Just
it
have the
came
TV.
out
Yeah.
for the Switch, either cloud-based or something, or even the next Switch,
Yeah.
that would be cool to do. And yeah, I think that would be. I told her she's already prepared for it, so I told her if it comes
Good.
there
So she's
for us to
liking it
play,
too. That's good.
yeah, I would say let's play that one together. So, but yeah, I like Baldur's Gate 3, but I don't. With all the camera problems I have with that game in the PC.
Right.
I don't know how it is on the PlayStation, but on the PC, controlling it and trying to dictate where I'm going to attack and all that kind of stuff, just the camera controls and where it lands just frustrates me to no end. And it's like, does that not have a factor in Game of the Year discussions when you're talking about a game, or is it just because of the complexity of it, the story? Is it because of that? I mean, I give them kudos for that for sure, and the graphics are outstanding.
Yeah.
Man, some of that is still frustrating.
That was my issue with the Divinity on the Switch. Like you can't move really well because I feel like a keyboard allows you to toggle more. You have more.
Yeah,
ways
even
to
with
move.
that, with the mouse and the keyboard, toggling and going over, if I went overhead and all that kind of
Hitting the
stuff,
O button.
it's still frustrating to have to use or to do. But and later on in the game, recently, I've been using both the controller and the keyboard. So like when we're doing long stretches of running and moving across the map, then I would use the controller. But then in battles, I switch back to keyboard and mouse because I wasn't used to the whole wheel thing. So with the keyboard and mouse, I get a whole table of things I could just pick from and use and stuff. So,
nice.
Whereas in some instances, I do kind of like the wheel. I thought it was kind of cool, but just I wasn't used to it enough to use right away. So, but yeah, I'm excited to get to the end of the Baldur's Gate 3 and eventually maybe I'm hoping to be able to play it again maybe later on down the line. Also played Mario versus Donkey Kong demo, so I'm excited to play the actual game when it comes out in a few minutes, probably for us. But by the time you're listening to this, the real game will be out, and I'm going to be hopefully playing that this weekend.
Yeah, 40 minutes from now.
All right, 40 minutes from now. There we go. Splatoon 3, I actually jumped back into that to play the single player game because I didn't play that yet when it first came out. So I've been playing the single player game in that to just kind of knock that out. And it's been fun. It's a little twists and turns in the story too that I wasn't expecting. I mean, I haven't gotten really that far into it, but just it was kind of like, the first twist I got wasn't expected, and it's kind of fun. Just kind of preparing myself for the DLC because I did pick that up as well. So I'm waiting for that DLC to come out later this month and excited to try that out. You guys, what about you guys? You guys excited to try that Splatoon 3? No, Marty, you're not?
I just recently deleted Splatoon 3 off my Switch.
Wow.
I did a bunch of deleted games. That feels
This
good to do.
This is this franchise. I don't have any ill will against it. It's just not for me. It's like Pikmin. I have to wash my hands of it. Like it's just not. It's not my thing.
Gotcha.
Not my bag.
Well, the DLC is supposed to be single player and it's supposed to be roguelike.
That doesn't change anything.
Still doesn't change anything.
I have fundamental issues with the way the game plays.
Okay.
So I just don't like the gameplay.
All right.
So
Got it.
I'm not gonna buy the DLC. And I've said to myself, like, I survived the FOMO of Pikmin 4. Like, I watched everybody play it and talk about it, and I didn't do it. I feel like I like when Splatoon 4 rolls around, I can survive that too.
Okay.
I'm not buying it.
All right. We'll help you out. If you feel like if you need to be talked down from buying it, just let us know. We'll talk you out of it.
I will. I hope you'll stand beside me and talk me out
Yes.
of it because I need it.
Casey, are you looking forward to it at all?
No,
That DLC?
I'm
No?
with I'm
Not-
with Marty. No, my son has it and barely plays it. So
Shut
it's
up, Siri.
Siri's like, how dare you, Splatoon 3? No, that's not on my radar
All
either.
right. Jesse, I know it's totally on your radar. You love Splatoon.
I didn't buy it.
I know. I'm just kidding. All right. Well, I guess I'm the only one who's looking forward to that DLC. So, but
You and my 8-year-old son.
Yeah.
Yes, you
To-
both
to-
are.
when
to
we get
to
the
clarify,
code, you
I
can have
didn't
it.
not buy the DLC. I didn't buy the base game.
right. Yes, you did not buy the base game. All right. Casey's son and I will have to talk about the game then.
Have fun.
All right. The other game I played is the Nom. It is a game that we got a code for. I did a first look at it. It's a mobile-ish type game, but it's actually pretty fun, simple. You're just like inky blob type thing that you're trying to find your original body from this mad scientist who turned you into this blob. And you're going through each floor, just destroying scientists or guards or whatever to try to get to your body and get to the scientist and stuff like that. So it's a quick, fun little pickup game. I think it's 99 cents right now until March 1st. But if you want to check out what I was playing, did my first look on it, go check out the video there on our channel for the Nom, N-O-M. And check that out for yourself. And then I've also been playing Golfinity. The golf game that the Dads After Dark show has been running a league on, actually, on their channel in our Discord for a couple weeks, and trying to get a high score there. There's some golf guys there that just I will not be able to get past their scores at all. They got like -20 or more. And the first course I did was a -10, which isn't too bad. But I was stressing that whole game. I was like, anytime I missed a shot or it was like, there's quite a few choice words coming out of my mouth. But Golfinity is actually a pretty fun game, and I think is also pretty cheap on the Nintendo Switch. I'd have to look up the price, but again, we're playing that in a couple weeks. So if you haven't joined already, you might be able to still jump in and submit your scores for each course that you play. That's in the Dads After Dark show channel. They have a picture of what you got to accomplish and submit to get it done.
It's $2 until March 1st.
Nice. So very, very cheap. A couple cheap games to pick up if you got any coins that you got lingering in your Nintendo eShop. Check out. So those are the games I've been playing. How about you, Marty? What you been up to? What you been playing?
One game, a whole
To
game.
rule them all.
Yes, Spider-Man 2. I didn't even play anything really on my Switch this week. So Spider-Man 2 is a game that it came out around it was the same day that Mario Wonder came out, and it just got lost in the shuffle. There's not anything wrong with it. That's why I didn't get lost in the shuffle. It's just had so much going on. And I've recently jumped back into that and probably about 2/3 of the way through it and having a blast, man. I love those games. And so I don't really have anything to say about it other than I like Spider-Man. And I love just that world is so fleshed out, and I can lose myself in that game doing side missions and still feel like I've really contributed and had a good time playing. And so I'm not as far along in the story as I could be because I've just been, oh, that's over there. Oh, that's over here. Let me go. Oh, there's another Mysterium that I can find. Oh, there's a Spider Bot. Oh, there's this. And that's how I played the first game too. And Miles Morales. So all three of those games together are some of my favorites. So I'm just taking my time, enjoying it. I'll probably put a few more hours into it this weekend, but I'll also be playing Mario versus Donkey Kong. I'm really hyped for that game. So I'm excited for tomorrow. to get my copy and play it.
Awesome. We'll be talking about that game next week, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Jesse, what you been playing?
So I've been continuing my run of the Zelda 2 Adventure of Link remake on the PC that I talked about last week. In my first run through, I found this new area that I couldn't get past. It had like Royal Hylian symbols. So I'm like, oh, I bet once I get the Triforce, I can go down there with extra game content. I was partially right. The game still ends when you get the Triforce and it rolls credits, but then you can start a second quest where you save your stats for your attack, your defense, and your life, or whatever those, or your magic in your life. You still remember all the spells. You can cast the fire spell and the protect spell right away. And
Nice.
you save a few other things, but pretty much everything else is wiped out. You have to collect everything over again. But in that second playthrough, it does let you get into the new area to get like the true ending. So I rolled credits the second time, in fact earlier today on that, and I was reminded by someone in the Discord for that game that there's a random mode, and I've never really played a randomizer before, but this one I think I'm want to try the randomizer mode and see what that does. So that's what I'll probably be playing this weekend, and then I also continuing playing Vegas Infinite on PlayStation VR2. Yesterday they released a new patch that finally puts in Omaha as a game mode.
Nice.
So I played that for a bit last night, and they introduced a mode called Run It Twice, which I've never really done in real poker before, but I've heard about it. So say like Tim, you and I are playing, I'm all in, you call, and we have the flop on the board. And we will be asked then, do you want to run it twice? If both of us say yes, then what it'll do is it'll play the turn in the river like normal, and whoever wins that gets half the pot.
Okay.
Then you'll get a second turn in a second river, and whoever wins with those set of cards gets the other half of the pot. So it's still possible that one person gets the whole pot, or it's half and half.
Right. Okay.
So I've
That's
seen
interesting.
I think it's more used in cash games than in tournaments, which is why I've never really done it before. But it was an interesting addition to the game.
Cool. Now I know what that is, and I'll know what to say if I get involved in something like that. All right, cool.
Yeah. Right. That's it for me.
That's it. All right.
Nice.
Well, that's what we've been. And I actually tried Zelda 2 Adventure of Link. You saw me try that out, Jesse. When we finished the show last week, I fired it up and started playing a little bit. So I didn't play any more since then, but I do have it ready and ready to play some more if I wanted to. So it was pretty fun and interesting, and it did make me want to play it some more. But I felt so lost because I don't play it as much as you or Chris HL or Shannon or anybody else I know who play it so much. So, but it is very cool and kind of gives a glimpse of the potential of, say, Nintendo doing something similar. So, very cool. All right, let's move on to the community spotlight. All right. So shout out to everybody who's stopped by so far throughout this evening. And whether you're on Twitch watching us or YouTube or Facebook, thank you for stopping by. We got Mikey Dreamer who stopped by. We got King Maticus. I love reading some of these names. Stopped by. Ninfrendo. Darth Platypus 77 stopped by. Steve Cullum.
Yeah, Steve.
Yes.
Steve.
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 Mecca goes, I'm here, I'm
Pong
here.
by Atari. Sorry, go ahead.
Mecca says, I'm here, I'm here.
Yes, Pong by Atari Tim A. That threw me off when I saw that. I wasn't sure like am I
I thought that was you.
that was not me. I don't know who the Pong by Pong by Atari Tim A is, but you threw me off. You threw me off of it. Like, how am I responding? I'm not on YouTube right now. Who's hacking my account?
Blanco is here.
Yep. Blanco was here.
Steve Schreffler says, hey.
Everyone
LPD
is here.
LPD was here. Nice. Saw him pop in there, and let's see. Becca Dragon, of course, and Steve. Inception Tim. Yes, that's what it was. It was Inception Tim.
Hey, Steve.
So thank you again for everybody for stopping by and participating in the chat, and apologize for not being able to keep up on everything you guys were saying there, but I love the interactions you guys have with each other in there as well. So thank you very much. All right, let's read some of these questions we got from our Discord, Twitter, and voicemails too. So, and there's a reason. There's a reason behind voicemails too, which I'll remind everybody later.
Oh wow, 2 voicemails.
Yeah. So one of the ones we got was from Twitter, is one that I missed last week from Koopa Kid that I didn't see, and it was a question to me, but I would love to hear your guys' answer as well. If you could design a Nintendo hat, what franchise would it be, and what would you imagine it would look like? And what celebrity personality would you want to model sell it in the commercial?
All right, here's a really wild concept. Mario hat with an M, Chris Pratt. Boom, done. No one ever thought of it.
Mic drop right there.
It's a me, Mario.
I was thinking Jack Black when it was a Pitfall Harry hat.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yep. Nice. All right, so Marty, what you got?
For
Rick Moranis. Rick Moranis, giant Samus helmet.
Oh, like Darth. Yes.
Spaceballs. Samus helmet. That it would be fantastic. I would wear that for sure.
Yeah, I like that.
So, Jesse, you got something else?
No, I was going to say I was not sure if you all understood that my answer was a joke answer.
Yes.
Because he did that. That was his first gig, was a Pitfall commercial.
Nice.
Yeah, when he was a little guy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have.
What do you call Link's hat? Is that a beanie? Would Link's hat be a hat, or would it be a beanie?
That'd be like a beanie, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
So you could do that for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could definitely call out like Metroid. Obviously, that would be awesome. I would love to see more Metroid hats, but I thought it would be really cool to actually do a set. I like things to match. Like right now, I'm wearing my Nintendo Guru hat with my gray sweatshirt, because it's gray and gray. But I would do like almost like a hoodie Mario Kart stuff, where it was a hoodie and a hat. So you could have like matching hat with the hoodie where it was all the different drivers.
It's like
numbers.
a racing suit.
Just like you see it in Mario Kart, but have hats and hoodies, and even down to the sweatpants if you want the whole shebang. You know, I think that would be cool to have a Mario Kart series of hats and matching fits to go with it. So
all right. So I thought of a real answer. It's not a Nintendo anything, but it's still, yeah. And my wife actually has a hat like this, and I would want her to make one for me. You know, kind of like the hat King Graham wears in King's Quest.
Okay.
And as for the actor to try to sell it, Christopher Lloyd, who plays an old King Graham in the games from 10 years ago.
Nice. Yeah, I forgot about the celebrity that would. So if I did the Mario Kart thing, the celebrity would be.
Inferno says like Peter Pan. Yeah, kind of like Peter Pan.
I'll do the Fast and the Furious crew. They would be the celebrities that would do the Mario Kart stuff.
And then, never mind. I was gonna say something really messed up. I might still say it. Do you have a digital Paul Walker, and then he hits a banana peel? There. All right, I got it on my system. I'm sorry.
Oh,
sorry.
Man, it's too soon. Too soon.
Too soon. All right. Sorry.
Soon.
Sorry.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yes.
Marty's in favor of that one.
That's the show title, by the way, this week. It's Digital Paul Walker. That's it.
Paul Walker with the banana. Oh man, yeah, let's do it.
We may lose some people over that.
So if
Or the
you
people
need
with the dark
to
humor,
complain
are
about,
gonna be like, nice.
you need to complain about Casey's mention of that. Make sure you submit an email to our HR department at justin@nintendodads.com.
Yes.
Oh no. Canceled.
Right.
It was only my third week. No, I'm kidding.
His email box, you can't send any emails there anymore because he never reads them. It's the worst HR department in the country.
Marty gets it sent to him, complaints daily. No, I'm kidding. From Justin. Right. Justin writes the emails himself.
Just see emails himself.
Probably.
Reminder, fire Marty.
All right. Next question. From Mecca, what's your favorite party snacks to buy for friends you'll have over for the game? And what level of spiciness do you love your wings to be at?
Ooh.
So
I like spice.
I like spice as long as it doesn't burn my taste buds and I can't taste anything anymore.
Yeah, so the level of spice, the desired level of spice is flavorful spice. Not just hot to be hot.
Exactly.
Right? Like
I want to taste my food.
Wild Wings, Buffalo Wild Wings blazing sauce it's awful.
It's just like like how much pain can you tolerate? It's not.
I don't want pain. I want delicious.
Like mango habanero is delicious, right? And it's got a
Asian zing wings at Buffalo Wild Wings. That's a good level for me. Medium if we're at Hattie B's. Hot chicken in Nashville, medium is the level to be at. But if I'm serving wings to like people who are going to be at my house, we're going way mild. We're going to go traditional buffaloes, about as hot as we're going to get, because like you don't know what they. Well, like a traditional buffalo, yeah. So like I like, because we don't know their spice level, right? Mm-hmm. It's different if you're going out to eat with some friends, and you know where that stands,
or they just order their own spice.
Right. So my favorite thing to do when we do our Super Bowl parties is Walmart does a large chicken tray that they allow you to pick different things that are in it. So we got chicken strips, boneless wings that were barbecue boneless wings, so no spice at all, and then we got some regular wings. They're dry rub ranch wings, and they were phenomenal.
I like our lemon pepper dry rub. Is great too.
Oh my gosh!
Yes.
And
I love a good dry rub on there.
Wings is my choice. Although my wife made this like homemade pull apart cheesy bread in the shape of a football.
Nice.
Like just took pizza dough, cut it in squares, cut up cheese sticks, wrapped them, brushed olive oil on top, and Italian seasoning, and those were. Oh my gosh,
that sounds delicious as well.
Wow.
I'm into the bone in. I'm a bone in guy too. Someone said boneless or bone. I think if you're gonna eat, I think boneless, like it's. I don't want to say it's for kids. Like my daughter likes that.
I'll take it because I'm a boneless guy.
I have to be in.
I think it's just
like most of the time I go in bone in, right? That I gotta have the bone in,
but
every once in a while,
I like the feeling.
Every once in a while, it's just like I'm not feeling the messiness, so I might get the.
I don't like the messiness, so I'm with Marty on that one.
Well, no, I just like to be able to eat it with. I don't like. I'm simple.
You don't have to work at it, right?
Yeah,
you don't want to work to eat it. I get it.
I like. Now, here's the thing, though. Like eating a rib is different because that's like there's something substantial there. Right. I like ribs, but I want boneless chicken. That's like
I like to say ribs with I like eating with my hands like that. You know what I mean? Like if I feel like if I'm eating a boneless one, I kind of would like. I don't mind. I could use up pork with this, or I like a boneless. To me is like I put it in a salad, right? Like it's something like it's part of it, right? Or I'd rather get like a sandwich. I'd rather get like a Chick-fil-A patty, right? If
I got you. Okay.
Yeah, it just depends on the level of how much work I want to get into with that.
Yeah.
You know, most of the time it's going to be bone-in wings for me, especially because to me the dry rubs or even the sauces taste a little bit different between a bone-in version of wing or a boneless wing. You know, because of the breading or whatever. So
drums or flats too was the other question for the bone-in guys. As a kid, it was always drums, but then because of the internet, I know how to eat a flat now. You push it down and you just go. I like a flat. Flat has all the good meat in it too. The flat's the part where you have to break it. For those that don't know the talk, I like a flat.
I
I like
don't
a
care.
drummy.
Give me
I'm
all
a
of it.
drummy guy.
Give me all of it.
Yeah, I'm saying. My wife will be like, "How many did you eat?" And I'll be like, "Just 25." And she's like, "Just 25." It'd be something
I don't
ridiculous.
count. Who bothers counting? Just give me.
Yeah, right. Just put them in my face and get out of my way.
Right?
Like if I'm here to eat wings, I'm here to eat wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As for the spiciness for me, I normally, while Tim knows that I can handle the spice,
Yeah.
but I normally
you can.
avoid the hottest hot just because I
Yeah.
do want the flavor. I don't want that, just in case it is spice for spice sake.
Yeah.
So like,
Here's Jesse eating the chip challenge. He's like, yeah, this is hot. And here's me eating the chip challenge. Oh, I'm gonna die. I'm crying. Oh my gosh.
so like I'm looking at Wingstop's website. I would normally choose like the second or third hottest, which is mango habanero or Cajun.
Yeah, that mango habanero is my like.
Although-
I haven't had buffalo.
Yeah, normally
Well,
I'll
it was a
get
long time
like a thing of 10 or 20, and I'll go half and half with mango and the Cajun.
Yeah. Do you guys have Wingstop out where you guys are at, or is it only? I like Wingstop.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a
Wingstop.
Wingstop.
Oh, I'm a Wingstop guy over B-dubs these days.
Yeah,
I'd rather
I
go
am
to
too. But
Wingstop.
like their Parmesan garlic, their lemon pepper.
Oh,
Yes.
that's why I said it. Yeah, you guys know.
Yeah,
Their Hawaiian
but-
one too. The Hawaiian one.
Casey, listen, let's talk about this, okay?
Okay.
Fries. The fries at Wingstop and the magic
Dude.
dust that they put over the top
Oh,
of it.
yeah.
Yes.
Whatever that is, it's like,
I like
It's
a
all
fry
good.
with a little bit of potato skin on it still too.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's
they
still
do it.
their fries are top tier. Their fries are very good.
yes.
While
yeah,
I'm all for getting fresh food, I don't like dining in there just because
No.
I got to wait 25 minutes for my order. And
Yeah, I know.
so what
Yeah.
I'll normally do is I'll order in the app, pick it up when it's ready, and then
Mhm.
just drive it back
Eat it
home.
so good.
I also don't want
So
people in public to watch me eat it unless I'm at Buffalo Wild Wings, because then everyone else. Otherwise, people are like, "What is this wild animal?" That just
Yeah.
meat in hands. Yeah.
Right.
So,
Your beer goes, is
I
it
don't
just
need
me
people
or
to
do the
judge.
fries taste sweet? Maybe a hint of sugar?
There is a little hint of
there
sugar
might
there,
be.
but that's to me, that's why I like it, because it's unexpected. And you
Yeah.
get it
Yeah.
kind of offsets the wings. It's
Now
now
they
I
have
want-
they have a Louisiana dry rub that I really like too. I don't know if they still have it because it's been a while.
Yes, that
Louisiana
was good
dry
too.
rub is it's
Oh, yeah.
delicious.
yeah.
All right, so
Welcome to Wingheads.
Wingstop. We're gonna have.
I just googled it. It does have sugar. That's why we do like it.
Okay.
So if they want to sponsor the show,
Yes.
Yeah.
hey, totally side note here, little rabbit trail. Our local Wingstop is owned by the boss, Rick Ross.
Yeah. All right.
Nice.
Yeah, Jackson, Tennessee. Rick Ross has got you covered for Wingstop. There you go.
Sweet.
Rick
That's
Ross
awesome.
knows the sauce. Yeah. Right.
All right. Next up, Mikey Burgett asks, this week IGN announced that this summer they will be doing IGN Live, an in-person fan event in LA in June, featuring world-class talent, parties, networking opportunities, and unique attractions, featuring gaming and entertainment creators, developers, publishers, and enthusiasts. Do you think this can be an E3 replacement, and would it be something you would attend? Yes and yes. There's my quick answer. Yes and yes. I want to attend. I want to learn more. I want to learn more about this.
Yeah, I want to see a little bit more about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking-
if they're gonna, yeah.
I was thinking maybe not the first year, but if we hear good things from people who did show up and they're going to do it again next year, then I'd consider it.
Mhm.
Unless we
Yeah,
decide to
the-
do 10-year Nintendo Dads there at their event, you know.
Right. the whole thing about the networking part, like it's just rubbing elbows, maybe. Like I like PAX. I like there's a lot of events out there now, to go do that stuff. Do you think this could be? I don't think it could be an E3 replacement. I think E3 has been replaced because all these game companies control their own media cycle now and what they're going to say. I think Tokyo Game Show is like one of the big things, and then Gamescom or over in Europe.
Gamescom
I
is
don't know.
definitely the big thing now, I think, in that middle summer area.
Right.
So,
What I fear is if it becomes about content creators or entertainment creators and not about games, right? Like IGN does a lot of things with movies and TV shows too, so they have their lanes for that. I was watching something. The guy who runs Twitch was just on, and he was talking about how, hey, us giving the spotlight to new creators or new streamers was bad because it doesn't help them and people don't stay with them. Like they found that like, hey, we need to spotlight the people that are getting big numbers because that's what people are here to see, and people find you organically. I don't know. It's a sticky wicket. If as long as it's not about the creators and it's about the games or about the nerddom they love, like be it anime, yeah, that then I'm all for it. But if it's just about people talking about their channels, I'm not really into that.
yeah, I think we definitely want to learn more about what's going on there
Yeah.
and see how it compares to the other things we've experienced already, and if it's going to be something new, different, a fun factor, especially because it is open to the public, it seems like. So that's the cool part. And then we'll also have to see what kind of participation we get from the industry on
True.
this. So we'll see. And hopefully it does grow and become, maybe in a few years, it does become the E3 replacement. And I just don't want to see a bunch of different things going on at once in the summertime. I don't need this and Keeley's thing and then somebody else's thing.
Right.
And, and then we just got all these different things going on and not one industry connected. We're more divided right now, I think. Now that E3's kind of gone away, everything's divided. And I don't like that. Yeah. And I want to see
power vacuum.
Yeah. Exactly. I want to see things come back together and be one industry showing off what's great about the industry, and us all coming together about and celebrating games. So that's what we kind of do with Game Awards, right? It's coming around to the Game Awards. Everybody gets together. Yes, there's people complaining about certain aspects of it, and hopefully they fix those things. But in the summertime, I think a lot of us are going to feel that we want something there again, and I hope they come together to do that.
Yeah.
Darth Platypus asks, what video game system did you never own or had owned and sold that you would like to have back or have now? I had gotten rid of my SNES through, though now I might not mind having one again.
Oh, gosh.
Mine would be a PS5 because I've never owned one. And if someone wants to give it to me, I don't really care about the old systems. I want the new stuff. I like old.
You're ready to
Boys
move on to the
those.
next thing. You're like, okay, here's the new thing. I'm ready for that.
I can find the old games other places, and a lot of times the old games don't age well. Like rarely do they do. You get something like Chrono Trigger, like that's timeless. Super Mario World, great. Mario 64, like its controls don't feel good. There's not a lot of good parts to it. We're like Mario Galaxy, still great, still awesome. Right, I think, and I don't want to knock Mario 64 because it's very important. Ocarina of Time, same thing. The controller's kind of wonky, but still a great game. But like, yeah, like the old stuff's cool, but like the new stuff is what, like, I always like. I should be playing the new stuff.
All right, so this question is not for Casey. How about you guys?
No, PS5. My answer is something I haven't known. PS5. PS5 is
like I want to say NES, SNES, because I had those. I had massive game libraries for those. But another system that I had that now I wish I'd held on to, but I traded away like an idiot, along with all the games, was TurboGrafx 16.
Yeah.
I am the only person that I know of that ever had one of these.
Yeah.
And I had all the Bonk games and Legendary Axe and Keith's Courage and Alpha Zones, Star Soldier, or maybe it was Superstar Soldier. It was amazing shmup for that. Never had the like Turbo CD, TurboGrafx CD add-on. But man, like just as an alternative to Nintendo and Sega back in the day, they didn't have a great showing, but it's so different.
They were ahead of their time for sure too.
They were
that system, especially with the Express part of it.
And I had a Turbo Express too, And
that was some awesome tech there. It may not have
and,
lasted long, but
no, gosh, the batteries lasted an hour.
right.
It was, but like that was like, think about this as a handheld, roughly the size, a little bit larger than a Game Boy, that you could take your games from home and play on. And
Way
it
ahead
also,
of its time.
you could buy a TV tuner and watch TV on it on the
Mhm.
go. Yeah, like it had an antenna on it that you could pick up
Right.
local broadcasts, which is was super innovative back then,
Right.
but it hit at the wrong time, right? I mean, Nintendo would
Well, it
say
was a lot of money. For sure.
big. No, I'm just saying like the TurboGrafx itself.
Right.
Nintendo
No, yeah.
was swinging big, and so they, it went the way of the dodo. But I remember, I'm like Casey, like I was always like, I got to get the next
Hey,
thing and everything.
True.
So I would go and trade in everything all at once and be like,
Yeah.
and I'd be like, oh, I've got $400 worth of credit for like probably God knows how much, thousands of dollars worth of games.
Right.
To EB Games. We had one of those back in the day. And I
GameStop
don't
would
know.
give you $30.
Yeah, I wish I had nostalgia. Marty says I want the feeling of those controllers and those games back again.
Yeah.
But for me, it's TurboGrafx. I would love to have that today.
Nice. Jesse.
Yeah. 2 years ago, I would have said Virtual Boy, but I have one now. Thanks again, Tim, for for that matchmaking. So I think my answer now would probably be Dreamcast.
Ooh, that's actually a great pick.
I've never owned
Great choice.
any Sega system, but from what my friends told me, it was actually a really good system that just came out at a bad time, at a bad price,
It was.
and didn't last long.
So I'll say this. Probably shouldn't say this. The only
You can't. I don't know if you can get any worse than the
only
Fast
home
and the Furious
consoles,
one.
the only home consoles that I have not owned in my lifetime were Sega Saturn, Atari Jaguar, and the 3DO and the CDI.
Yep.
I've pretty much owned all the others. So like when you're like Dreamcast was a good system, I'm like, yeah, it was. Burned a lot of hours in college playing NFL Blitz on the Dreamcast. And Soul Calibur, the original Soul Calibur, and Power Stone. Holy cow, what a game.
Nice. I still don't have a Super Nintendo. I've been wanting to get one again. It was that was the first system I ever bought, and I of course did the same thing that all of us did at one point by trading it in because you needed to have some extra money to put towards that next new system in your younger days when you didn't have much money. So I traded in the Super Nintendo for something. I don't remember what it was. Probably the PlayStation 1, most likely. But yeah, I would love to be able to have that, even whether it be the original system or the newer version that they brought out. Either one would be cool to be able to plug into something and be able to play SimCity on again. That would be cool. So I even thought of picking up like what is it, that I forget what company, the Hyper company makes that
Hyperkin.
portable, Hyperkin makes that portable version of it. I even thought about picking up that. Thought it would be kind of interesting too, but never got around to it. But everything else that I've always wanted to get back, I think I got back. Like the SP I bought back, got one of those. The Vita, awesome member of the community sent me that one because I had missed it because I had to sell it in order to get the Switch. So back in 2017. So yeah, that was awesome. So yeah, that was a great question, Darth Platypus. Thank you for that. Max Power asks, if it were up to you, would the Switch 2 have detachable Joy-Cons? Playing tabletop with a friend is a feature I rarely use. I'd prefer a solid one-piece device like the Switch Lite with better ergonomics. This would probably be cheaper to manufacture, but they need more reliable joysticks, so people wouldn't have to send the whole system back for drift issues. What do you guys think?
Absolutely, 100% yes.
I think it makes sense. I mean, because you got the Rogue, you got the Steam Deck, they're all one piece.
It's my prediction for this year. It's one of my predictions.
You want the points.
A SKU, do the Joy-Con SKU, that's fine, but do one that's like a Pro with Hall Effect Joy-Con or Hall Effect sticks, ergonomic grips. I will pay extra money for that. Do it.
There you go.
Yes. And look, go one step further. The Joy-Con detachable model, LCD screen. The ergonomic grip Hall Effect joystick one, OLED screen. People can choose.
I love it. I love choice. So do like Samsung. You have all these different levels of their phones.
Right.
You know, so
it's like still keep the form factor, still keep the kickstand.
Yeah.
If you want to carry extra Joy-Cons with you so people can play with you, great. Tabletop mode, do it. But give me that ability to have one single unit, because I did own a Switch Lite for a while, and I loved the fact that it was all in one.
Right.
It felt more sturdy.
Nice. All right. Another great question. So what do you think, Jesse?
I do most of my gaming with a Pro Controller and very little with Joy-Con, either attached or detached. So ultimately, I don't think it matters to me because I won't be using them most of the time anyway. I'll be sticking with the more traditional controller.
Standing.
I'm with Marty. Like, give me that nice Pro remote version. That's what I've been saying for the longest time. Just split a Pro remote in half.
Well, from the very beginning, I know a lot of people said, if Nintendo were ever to iterate on the Switch on a more regular cadence, like every couple of years instead of 7 years, that they could easily just replace the center, screen. And then you could still use the Joy-Cons you have, or they could come out with new Joy-Cons, or you could plop it into something like this that maybe Nintendo makes themselves instead of, cracked or whatever. So you have different options. So, but it's going to be interesting to see what the successor has.
Yeah.
But I do like choice. Give people choice.
It would be interesting if the dock still's the same. Like, you don't have to buy a new dock. You just have to buy a new centerpiece. That would be an interesting move.
That's a possibility too, because they did say that you can upgrade.
It's backwards
the new
compatible,
dock.
Right? Yeah.
Well, you can upgrade the new dock too. It's got
the OLED dock has upgradable firmware, which it has never been, but it has the option to can be.
Right. So something to keep in mind there. Maybe that firmware will be updated when the next Switch comes out. So, all right. Those are the written questions. We've got 2 voicemails. Let's listen to the first one.
This time. Hi, this is Stan, or Draft Platypus on the Discord, calling the Nintendo Dads hotline. With the Princess Peach game coming out, if we had a game where we played as Princess Zelda, what would you like to see? When would you like it set? And what kind of game do you think it should be?
That's a great question.
Oh, I've been dying for a Zelda game. Zelda. Princess Zelda game.
Yeah.
For sure.
This is a great question. I would not mind playing a game where Zelda is the protagonist, right? That like there's an unraveling of some kind of mystery or something. I don't know. There's so much that the Zelda series in general does well that I can't think of like what that would be other than flip it on its head. Make it a turn-based RPG.
Yeah.
With Zelda.
Or give me I want a stealth game where she's being chic. Give me a ninja stealth game.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah, that's what I want. It's right there.
And plus, bring in some of the magic elements. She's got magic abilities, so bring in some of that.
Yeah.
I really hate it when people say things like games like this and they make me want a game that I know is never going to exist. And you just
if we put it out there in the ether, someone might make it. It can happen.
Yeah, I've said I've said this before, but I'm thinking a Skyward Sword side story from Zelda's perspective when she's running around with Impa, while
Yeah, that's a good
Link
idea.
is doing what he does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And you can even do it with Tears of the Kingdom, where, I mean, you get the cut scenes where you see her
Yeah.
side of the story.
Right.
We could play that side of the story. Would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Technically, we got a playable Zelda and Hyrule Warriors, but I don't guess that really
Yeah,
counts,
a little
right?
bit. Right. Yeah.
That's true.
I have
But
that
everyone's
thought, too.
playable, so I would.
Mhm.
Great question, Darth Platypus.
Absolutely.
Hey guys, it's me, Christian. I had another gimmick idea from a couple weeks ago. I had an idea where you could have a playlist of games for the Switch successor that would allow you to choose which games you would want on your playlist and automatically switch after a certain amount of time. I think that could be a neat idea for even multiplayer scenarios. Maybe you could keep score between the multiple games. Of course, this would only work for digital only, but I thought I'd see what your thoughts were on that. Anyway, love the show. My family says hello, and keep up the great work. Psych!
Hello, Christian family.
You've been an informant. You've been informed.
Hello, Christian's family.
An informant.
Yeah,
You've been informed.
Nice.
we've been informed. He's like the Noid.
Oh,
Does
God.
anybody remember the Noid?
The Domino's guy? Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
Noid.
the Noid.
Hey, do you remember Snorks? Do you remember that show?
Yeah.
I told my students about that today. I'm like, it's worth a Google. And I said, if you finish the assignment, you can Google it. And they were all floored. They're like, what is this?
Yeah, hey, throw Jabberjaw at him next.
Oh, yeah. They might know that from Jellystone because that's on Jellystone.
Oh, yeah.
My son knows who Jabberjaw is because of that.
Or Turbo Teen. That's Nightmare Fuel.
Oh boy.
So. What would be on my playlist? I think everybody would just have Mario Kart 8, unless there's a new Mario Kart.
It's going to be Mario Kart 8. It's never going to end.
Yeah. Mario Kart 8 is the stairway to heaven of video games. It's just everyone's going to have it. It's going to be a timeless. Like it's going to come. I'm like, oh, all right. I mean, Zelda's like you'd want the big ones, right? And then it'd be kind of fringe. Imagine if they sold playlists that it's just you have them. That's why I kind of think like you download the playlist and like, hey, you can buy this like a humble bundle, and you own the digital playlist, right?
Yeah, I would probably for me would be I agree with Mario Kart 8, but all of the retro apps, the NSO stuff, so I'd have access to those games, and then I mean Mario 3D Land's going to be in. Whatever Mario game is newest is going to be in there probably.
Yes.
And probably some random roguelikes. Enter the Gungeon.
Some Mega Mans.
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely Mega Man's got to be in there. The Legacy Collection. It's not going to be any new Mega Man. It's going to be the same six I've been playing.
Did you see the stuff Capcom was doing about the polls they were taking for old IPs and people were
I
saying Mega Man Breath of Fire?
I immediately went and did all the stuff.
Yeah. Mine was Mega Man, Breath of Fire, and then Darkstalkers. I love the Darkstalkers Fighters game. I think that should come back. There's a lot of IPs that I like Capcom to bring. And Dino Crisis. It's time.
Nice.
I like it.
So you guys know why we got 2 voicemails this week?
No, why?
Those people were paying attention about the offer we got going on.
Oh!
So if you were listening to the end of last week's show, if you submit a voicemail to us up until March 31st, we're going to do a drawing for a copy of the Impact of Iwata to one of the people who gave us a voicemail between now and March 31st. Signed, autographed version of the book as well, by the way.
Ooh.
By Lucas Thomas, the writer of the book from Nintendo Force. So, if you didn't hear it last week, you'll hear it now. If you call our voicemail 929-25-NDADS or 929-256-3237 by March 31st and leave a voicemail, We'll put you in the drawing to win a copy of that book, which is signed by Lucas Thomas, and it comes with a poster too, which is a really cool poster that they
Is it a
put
poster
together.
of Iwata doing this?
It is actually I don't know. The other side is him with a bunch of the characters he's impacted. A lot of drawn stuff there. I don't remember what's on the other side now that you mention it. Maybe it is.
I'm
But-
looking. I'm looking,
right.
and
Never
that's a
opened
really
mine,
cool.
so I don't know.
It's a very cool poster. I need that. I guess I'll call in and leave a voicemail.
You gotta do it under a fake alias.
Like an informant did. He was
Yeah.
thinking he was Christian. We all thought he was Christian, but he was really an
I
informant.
got a alias
Just
and
be Marty
another persona
backwards.
I can call in for, baby. Calling in to get the book for the water. Yeah.
All right. Well, I expect we'll get an influx of voicemails, I guess, in the next coming weeks. But with that, that's the end of the show. First, a huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Dave Ernsberger, Jacqueline Amira, RJ Kern, and the other 90 plus patrons. Special thank you to our 18 Twitch subscribers and over 1,431 Twitch followers, and a shout out to our 7,324 YouTube subscribers. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all for what you do and how you participate with our show, whether you're giving us money through Patreon or listening to the ads and you're not skipping them. That all helps us keep the lights on and be able to do the extra things that we do, like give away this book. All right, and check out our website, nintendodads.org, for Spotify podcast feeds on our show, as well as other NINDADS family of podcasts, like the Dads After Dark show and the Retro Logic family of podcasts. You can also see our latest YouTube videos and tweets, links to all our social media, Patreon, and Extra Life pages, and a link to our Nintendo Dads merch. Be on the lookout for that to change as well, because actually, if you've been watching on YouTube, you would see that we have merch right below us that you can click on and buy for the 10th anniversary of our podcast. If you don't see it, you can come to our YouTube channel and be able to pick on our store link that's in our YouTube channel now and be able to pick up that shirt as well, or any other means of picking up that logo. You can get a mug, get a water bottle, get a sticker, all kinds of stuff. We'll get more content back up there. That's going to be our new location for our store. So keep up on that. But for now, you can also hit, again, nintendodads.org to go to our current merch store, which still has some other stuff on it as well, such as the AEW, not AEW, what was it called again?
NWO.
We have NWO, NDWO, Nintendo Dads,
Yeah, we've got
World Order,
AEW,
and then we have an AEW.
All Elite Dads.
All Elite, it's AED. Yeah, that's what it was. All Elite Dads shirts. So we still got that there, but that'll be transferring as well. But so a couple places for the merch. Don't forget to check out our sponsors, manscaped.com, for 20% off Manscaped orders with free shipping. Use code NINDADS. Or for factormeals.com, you get 50% off your first order with the code NINDADS50. NINDADS and the number 50. You can contact us in most places by typing Nintendo Dads, email us at nintendodads@gmail.com, or again, call and leave a voicemail at 929-25-NDADS or 929-256-3237. Again, leave us a voicemail, and also make sure you email us that you left a voicemail with your information, so that in case you win that book, we know where to send it. Otherwise, you'll have to listen and make sure that we can contact you or tell you that you won. Big thanks to OC Remix for the music throughout the show. Download from your favorite podcast app of choice, and please, please, please leave us a 5-star review and a comment. That helps us get up on the charts and for people to find us and help us to grow. For me, for Jesse, for Casey, for Marty, and for Justin out there trying to buy Sega, we are the Nintendo Dads, and we'll check you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
You gotta get your together. You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with you?